local
cheese and
recording.
banana pancake.
Set up the stream. Cancel. Special effect. Paused. It's 9.
Do something. Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend.
Hi, friend. Entertainment for the children's.
Not for the children.
Not for the children's.
Mein Kampf is only for adult unformed brains.
That's right.
Not for childlike unformed brains.
Wait until you're at least 18. Have your own opinion.
What's the video? What's the shitty meme? The video snippet of when the grandma like buys the kid Mein Kampf and he wanted like something else. He wanted, what did he want? He wanted a video game or something, and it wasn't Mein Kampf. It was like
video game. Mein Kampf.
yeah, Mein Kampf. That's what he wanted. Was the Mein Kampf video game?
He wanted the Mein Kampf video game.
It's where you breed up cunts.
Mm-hmm.
Send them out into the field.
Right. Okay.
So you could have like you can have like your pocket cunt, my little cunt.
That's it. My little pocket.
It's a portable pocket cunt.
Pocket pussy.
But, well, no, different. No, because pocket cunts go out to battle, mate. You know, it's like, yeah, little fucking cunt, mate. It'll fucking cunt you up.
So I put my gun.
It's got more diversity.
My little cunt. Stored my little cunt.
My little cunt.
Prison banked. Prison banked in my little cunt. Get my pistol out.
My little cunt.
Right, let's just mute us. Well, so just need to silence while we start. Stopped up on the end of Cheep stream.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. I'm watching it. It's cool. It's
well. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. But
mistakes are made.
Real talk is cheap.
It's the end.
Season
it's the
3,
end of the Cheep stream.
Season 3, Episode 9 of the cheapenings. And we're live.
The cheapest of the cheap.
We are live. And it's cheaper than it's ever been before. It's cheaper than cheap. It's the cheapest cheap ever.
It's like it's like when you go to sort of you know, those buffet style Indian or Asian, sort of different Chinese flavors.
Yep.
And they got like 6 dishes, and they're like, 2. And then they put the spoon in it, and they go, and then they realize they've got one too many bits of meat in the spoon, and they start like just get the bit of meat off, so that you just get the sauce and no meat.
Using the fingers to do it.
Oh, well, that's pretty cheap.
That is very
I
cheap
mean,
if you're using your
it's like,
fingers.
yeah,
to
it'll just scratch
flick,
his nose,
flick
scratch
the
his
piece of meat
nose, and
off
then
so that
it flicks the meat.
the others might
Big
partake that solitary piece of
dog,
meat that you've
yeah,
discarded.
nibbles, yeah. So because you can only have so much meat, or you'll never eat your pudding.
Correct. Don't eat your meat. How can you have any pudding?
Have any pudding?
Don't eat your meat.
It's one of my favorite lines, like in a song. I love it. Like, songs to live by. I used to always play like the Pink Floyd album of The Wall, like when I was taking off in a plane, when that was opportunity. Like, and I'd have little headphones on, thinking that's pretty cool. And I was sort of always like, oh wow, it's the bit where the aeroplane's. I mean, is there an aeroplane up in the sky?
Mommy, the aeroplane's coming.
Oh wow, M. What's happened, M?
What do you mean?
Have
I'm in dragon mode.
You're a dragon.
Yeah, got my dragon mode going on. Pointy sharp teeth and horns, and 2024 year of the Woden dragon.
Fucking Woden. Goddess. Need to find a dragon goddess to praise.
Dragon waifu. Possible dragon waifu.
Yeah, well, there are at least 1/12 of the women are going to be dragons on average. Every 1 in 12 women you meet is a dragon.
That's it. In disguise.
Questions.
Hiding.
Yeah, can't tell.
The only time you can tell is when they get their horns out.
Is a dragon waifu for you? Is that like your Chinese
ultimate goal?
Perfection? Is that your Chinese perfection?
Well, it'd have to be a green
like
dragon.
Your Luna, not China Luna.
A jade dragon.
Jade.
Some sort of jade dragon.
I wonder if the
girl
jade
with the clean eyes.
I
have to go with the clean eyes.
From the east or the west, some kind of like, I think somehow
Japanese
jade
girl with green eyes. Make me whole again.
That's interesting. That what about that makes
Big
you
Trouble
whole?
in Little China.
Yeah, I know. I'm riffing with the thing.
Riffing.
Sorry. So I know that sometimes I forget that we're riffing, and I think that you're being serious, and you look at me like I'm being a dickhead. No, I was just having like my moment in the sun there, where I like occasionally got that we were riffing.
Ripping.
I forget that we're actually having a conversation.
Yeah. That's it. Vibe and direct conversations.
Well, if you can't say it, fucking don't.
Well, yeah, that's it. Like Mama said, you ain't got nothing good to say. Shut the hell up, boy.
Shut the fuck.
Can.
That's it. Said flying, hits in the wall.
Oh, that takes me back. Right in the childhood.
Takes me back. Oh, let's see. Quite the thing. Yeah,
characters looking good.
Yeah, photography is quite the thing, you know. It's something, I don't know. My experience with photography has shifted through my life. I believe that I'm somewhat in the sort of being photographed is like, I don't know. It takes a little bit of yourself.
Semi-transparent to me, so the background's coming through on you.
I don't know why I've chosen green. It's just stupid.
That's all right.
Dumbass background color. Let me just change it to red.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me just
No, no, hey. You go.
all right.
It's interesting that that's blue.
So you're gonna go red.
Oh, it's in let's see if I can achieve this.
Change. Oh,
Red.
sweet.
Oh, my lips will go, but
That's all right. I'll just
having
and
transparent lips is
oh, that's
kind
all
of
right.
cool.
There you go. All right, now you're not transparent anymore.
Mm.
Semi-transparent.
Oh, now I'm super transparent. For a moment there. That was funny. I had no skin.
Whee! Did you like the background at the moment?
It's interesting. The saturation level of like, I don't know, I won't say high quality, just sort of, I don't know, good production value.
Mm.
AI content's just a little. I mean, it's the thing. So,
Yeah, well, the latest release of the movie
oh,
maker,
Sora,
AI movie
Sora.
maker. Yeah, smashing. Absolutely smashing.
Yeah, yeah, and stringing those stories together, and then
Very
like when we
impressive.
start, yeah,
Mm.
that's it. You start building backstories for the things.
Filling in personality.
Yeah, well, look, it's actually like, isn't this like, so I'm up to this part in Unity where I've got to start my own personal project,
Mm.
and so I've made my little village,
Yep.
the village of learning, and it's got like sort of 10 kind of families, I guess, um, to not get to know. There's under 100 people.
Mm.
But it's been interesting sort of building that, but I'm thinking about like how you populate the stories of people, yeah, and
Randomly generated AI.
well, yes, but like, let's say you've got somebody who is a tanner, so they deal with farm animals and leathers and hides and shit, and make leather clothing and boots, and
Mm.
they tan things. And so you could say, oh, what are like the sort of top 10 things that would be helpful for a tanner, and it sort of like lists them. And you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. You can make sort of some tasks out of that makes sense. Like you go to the tanner and they're like, hey, I'd like to help you out. I want to intern with you. And tanners are like, yeah, fuck you. But you can build out these kind of so wherever a tanner is, if they're working with the same kinds of creatures and things like that, they're going to have similar kinds of baselines. And then what you'd do is you'd go to each point in like the conversational potential, yeah,
Mm.
and then you use an AI to generate, let's say, 30 greetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 30 ways of saying. So it can say the same thing, but it says it in like slightly different ways, and so your experience is something which is always, you're never sure, like you're not sure, like, oh,
Going to
maybe
be
this is a
unique.
new, yeah, it
Reading.
feels
Yeah.
unique in each time, but you don't need hundreds,
No.
because the amount of interactions that you'd have with the person and the permutations but they're not actual permutations, they're just, instead of just always saying hello, there's like 10 ways it says hello. It's like, oh yeah, maybe it's the morning or the something else. There's some quality about the thing that it sort of affects the thing. But you can, and then what you do is you make this Tanner template way of being, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like a cycle like that sort of goes, that it works within, and it develops baseline, and then so you can replicate that to other villages and things, and you have other tanners. But then what you do is then you can like once you sort of populate that, you can then cruise around and then just tweak individual people. Like so, you then can create like variation instead of trying to make unique storylines for every butcher. You have like a general butcher storyline
Yeah.
that can be populated from any butcher. But you then just go around to the individual ones and like you can just tweak them up individually.
Yeah.
And and in ways that you don't even remember. You know what I mean? Like just kind of quirky shit. Like there's the whole little story that goes on between the butcher and their son. You know that you kind of just build into one little village, and then the player like interacts with that, and if they happen to interact with them in the right ways, then they see this whole
Get the
that little story. Yeah,
bonus.
yeah, they get the bonus, you know. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this way of using AI, but not AI run characters, but AIs to generate sets of conversations that
Mm.
have then limited conversations. Like, yeah, I mean, I could see. I don't know. Yeah, I can see how you can have like completely AI generated conversation. That would then what you'd be doing is creating like topic directors. So you'd have these topic markers that the AI would be trying to move towards in its conversation, like objectives. Like, convince the player to, kill the kobolds and protect your farm, you know. Oh, hey adventurers, like but to give that kind of like thing, I think realism, then you have to, what you want to do is somehow I haven't quite worked out how to do this yet, to synthesize this as a layer of like meaning, I guess, is where you'd have local idioms. Like, so if you travel through an entire empire from east to west and every butcher speaks the same, that's unlikely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's unlikely. They probably have local dialects or little ways or special things, or
Their
they've
own
got a slightly
unique way
different
of selling their
custom.
product. Yeah.
And so how you build in this, well, not just this the way of selling the product, but sort of like the way that they refer to things are, like even in Australia, like a potato cake,
Mm.
or which is a
Scallop.
potato scallop.
Mm.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
it's a simple fucking thing,
That's
but
it.
that's not.
It's a
It's not even the
scalloped
same.
piece of potato.
Yeah, but some people call it a potato cake.
Mm. Well, a
Some
potato
people
cake
call it
to
a
me
potato
would be a
scallop.
cake made out of potato.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just
Be stacked.
potato scallop. Yeah.
It'd be several potato scallops on top of each other and then
So
battered,
do you,
and then you
like
would
you've
have
actually
a
had,
little potato cake.
so in Australia,
Scalloping
like
cake.
you don't even have a consistency of something so basic,
Mm.
and so that kind of like regional, and where there's no explanation, there's no sort of like, how in games or in anime or stories they kind of like they telegraph meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, in case you forgot, the way that like things get transferred, and they they explain a world behavior, where if you go to another town, they don't explain to you that, snags, when you look up at there it says two snags, two for $5.
So
They don't say snag equals sausage. They
mm,
don't,
they automatically assume that you're
Mm,
in the.
mm. You've gone silent. I don't know why. I don't know if I've also gone
I went
silent.
silent because my youngling was requesting something from me.
There you go. That's a thing. Cool. It's 101 wild turkey. I got to just
Mm,
sit back.
it's doing it. Doing it for you.
Have a little. Yeah, I think they've wetted the whistle. I've set that a little thing in motion.
So wetnings.
Hmm. maybe one of the things I've been thinking of is like listening to the way that civilizations. So I'm developing a belief, right? So that large scale conflict in humans
Mm.
is not a product of resources, it's a product of ways of being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, so small scale conflict, like where's that's my fucking meat,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
that's real. But but the sort of the next, and maybe a little bit leveled up, but
You
beyond
can't have
that,
them.
it's
They're my breeding options.
well, yeah, well, that's so beliefs, you know, it's
Mm.
based on um, we think that our way of doing this thing is better, and you should do it our way.
Mm-hmm.
You should do this. You should come and do it our way. No, we like the way we're doing it. No, 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 no. Look, we've come in
Mm.
and we were explaining how much better your life is going to be if you do it out. No, oh, well, okay, we're just going to kill you.
That's right.
Right? Because you think about it, that's really mostly what it was about.
Accept or
It,
die.
it, it, well, you didn't come in and said, "Give us all your meat."
Mm.
Like there were scenarios where that was happening, where people were hungry and they said, "Give us all your meat," but it was
Yeah.
actually do what you're told. That's been the
Toe the
thing.
line.
That's the thing, and so in this regard, and I think a good example was like listening about the way that the Incas, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So the Incas, which are to the south of the Mayans, like in the Andes and things. So the Incas, they in their conquest as they sort of spread out and took over things, they didn't like conquer and like destroy the local god in that village or stuff. They integrated ways of being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were quite friendly to sort of having a sort of and actually so was Genghis the Khans, like in the Mongolians, like they were quite tolerant of like other religions and way they listened to them and
Other
tolerated their sort
points
of
of view. Yeah.
mm-hmm. But to listen to,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
to entertain us and think about,
That's right.
philosophize.
Yeah.
But so what you could do, right, is you have kind of you've got to this point where like there's I don't know, there's two ways you could make it, but I think the basic way would be that because you're like designing it for a point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you kind of make like a general behavior and conversation, etc., the way that things were, and then you kind of would maybe like try and work out how to build in a reverse customization by localization, something that kind of like could I like add in local nuance, like
Yep.
modify the general by like so modify a standard script and alter that by like a local customization layer. So you kind of could try and reverse engineer that, um, because it would be way more complicated to try and say and try to figure out how a whole bunch of local ones built up to be like a universal, like the way everyone does it.
Yeah.
Sort of the yeah.
They're commonly accepted.
Mm. Mm. And I think the other thing is like in a video game world, it's one of the things I've never really, I've always been a bit suspect on. Final Fantasy is pretty bad at this. It's like each location's a different population, like Wu Tang or you know, whatever. Like, and so they're very, you know, Cosmo Canyon or, and that's where like those people live but and it's sort of like that's really quite unrealistic. Like, but on a smaller scale, in sort of like you know back historically, uh, there were groups of like 100 or 1,000 people or something like that who were, you know, 5,000 people who were doing it their own way,
Hmm.
you know, and built that up to, you know, so there were groups of even like 50,000 or 100,000 who were doing things their own way. different versions of ways. In quite close proximity. So you could like go travel around. If you traveled from, say, the Mediterranean across to China, the variety of ways of doing things you would have crossed it through is quite a lot. Like they might have like had shared currency, like, oh yeah, we'll accept that good coin from there because other people
Give
of
it a
your mob
chew,
come
make
through.
sure it's gold.
Give it a chew. But yeah, there would have been real diversity. So maybe that thing in video games where you go from town to town and they're all unique ways of doing stuff. And it feels a little bit like forced
As if you've
diversity.
traveled somewhere else, like it has
Yeah.
that
But maybe it does.
localized to
Like,
that area.
yeah, like that's actually
The
things were like
localized
that.
area effect.
Mm. Another thing is that you can like not cheat, but like it's sort of like, how do you design in uniqueness into an environment without having to put a lot of work in? And you can take pointers from things like, so if you build like some kind of geological layer, sort of understanding of how the topography of the environment that people live in is going, then you can just look at it and go, oh, well, they would probably be building from mud brick around here, or these people probably build with wood. Like you would be able to you could use the environment to help you just decide like what villages would specialize towards, instead of having to,
The nuance of the
instead of trying to think it up for yourself. Like how do you design it so that you don't have to think up, oh yeah, and this town will be the one that does, and
this
it's
thing.
just like, yeah, you just like look at the landscape and you go, well, obviously these guys do fish. Like,
Because there's a lot of water around them. That's it. Water is their
that's what they,
predominant land
yeah,
mass.
that's what they do. That's what they do. And so it's sort of building in a certain era of storytelling, which is actually pre-medieval. It's not like, it's actually kind of tribal. It's like a earlier, it still could be quite advanced, but it's a more of a mess, like that sort of, remember that game like what was it called? I really got into it. I'm
I don't know.
sure
You're
you
gonna have
saw
to
me
give me
get
a
into it.
reference to remember it.
It was like pyramids. You made like it was like Egyptian, yeah. And you had apothecaries, and you built like statues to Ra, and it was like a civilization, like a population building game. But each scenario was like solving, there was a plague with the workers or whatever, and you had to finish
You're not
building the
Age of
Sphinx. Or
Empires.
no, but it was called Pharaoh. Was it called Pharaoh?
Pharaoh, yeah, I remember
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. Yeah.
But
It was based on an Egyptian type.
yeah, it was like an Egyptian themed, yeah, Age of Empires
World.
/
Yeah.
whatever. That thing. Isometric turn-based. Well, actually, that was more real time, more like Civ. Like things just kept on happening, and you just clicked around the place and built shit. Yeah, like even back then, it was like this kind of like you can really see how we specialized in, like I don't know, like it just becomes, the more you know, like the more it's sort of like you can see the pattern that built, like the unsurprising outcome.
Yeah.
The unsurprising adventures of like,
Your civilization.
of Xerox, of the Xerox people. They're just so good at copying. That's all they could do.
That's it. They took the best bits from all civilizations. So did you get wrapped up in the Swifty mania?
Oh, what's happening? No.
No, just asking because.
Look, I did. Look, I will share. So for the youngling,
'Cause apparently Pink got refused entry to.
I actually saw that as a
Yeah,
piece of
that was
news.
quite
I did.
amusing. Then she
I
ended up
did
going
actually see
somewhere
that.
else and having just as good a time elsewhere.
Well, probably better. I mean, what would be at the Sydney Boat Club? Have you ever been to, like, generally boat clubs have got like bad sort of like an old DJ doing
Yeah,
a bad dance routine,
that's it.
bad dance sort of
You know,
thing, and
it's
the
the
other
brother,
someone's having
the
like
owner's brother
fucking
does the
shandy.
DJing, and
That's it. It's a
yeah,
shandy
yeah.
or two being had. It's like, did that where Pink wanted to go?
Yeah.
I was like, this is a superannuation
Maybe it was just
tour.
because it was on the
Fucking hell.
water. Like she just wanted it somewhere on the water, perhaps.
What if she had a private yacht? Book a yacht. And if I was her tour manager, she would have been gone to the fucking Sydney boathouse. And if she was, I would have known. Like, who does that? How shame. What? Well, the shame isn't on the Sydney Boat Club or Pink.
Mm,
The shame is on the organizer, who should be fired.
immediately.
Yeah, for such poor logistics.
Should have, rung ahead and
Shame, named and shamed.
provided identification prior to the event.
Yeah, totally. Like had it all configured. Like and should be named and shamed.
That's it. It's not the star's responsibility to carry their own
No, I mean,
identification.
because
Don't
the
you know
star
who
and
the
the
star
venue.
is?
Why are the star and the venue protecting the culprit here?
Well,
Which is just a faulty PA, like, or something like that. You know, logistics organizer. You know, to outings planner, whatever
a
layer of
personal assistant will
diversity.
be getting 2 bananas rather than 1.
Two. Oh, an extra. They get a
Two
bonus.
vagines, double
Two.
vagines.
What for fucking this up? They get an extra.
You
They get.
get an extra banana as soon as I get
How,
back to the hotel room.
but wouldn't that reward them for making a mistake?
Well, it depends on where the bananas are put.
Oh, I see. So that's still a reward. Don't.
I'm still laughing about the whole Vash incident where the I don't know if you heard about it, the YouTuber Vash.
That's the
Apparently,
stampede. What?
I don't
Like
know.
a
Maybe Vash
Trigun?
Trigun. Yeah, maybe that's where he got the name Vash from. But yeah, he
What's
was switching screens and he accidentally revealed his porn collection on his hard drive.
Oh.
And apparently he's going to take the new title as Mr. Hands.
What was he into? Hands. He's into like what, masturbation porn?
No, it's equine
What?
equine pornography.
Okay. Continue. You piqued my interest. like, don't just stop with equine.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
apparently
what?
everyone's calling him the new Mr.
What?
Hands because he had a folder in his collection of porn stuff, which is horse porn.
But, so what of him masturbating horses?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily him, but he seems to like a lot of his comments, especially on because the YouTubers obviously do the trawling of the social medias, and many times he's actually said he wants to get rear-ended by a horse.
He'd like to be fucked by a horse.
He'd like to get rear-ended by a horse. That's right.
Okay.
Mr. Hand style.
Well, I mean, look, okay, right. So if you want to do that, then there's a great opportunity because
yeah, he's
you
going to need a
promote that shit.
handler. He's going to need a handler, like Mr.
Well, you
Hands did.
promote that shit, and what you do
need
is you
someone
have
to
the
be able to
whole.
guide. You need someone to be
You've
able
got
to
a whole
guide.
social media. Well, you got a whole social media journey.
Ahead
Starting
of
off
you.
with a small dildo, and
That's
then
it.
working your way up.
up.
And then maybe like just like so you get into like BBC porn for a little bit, like where you just got people coming and just railing you.
Yep.
To then like maybe something like, I don't know, then you'd sort of have to migrate. You'd have to find the platform. Like, would your viewers switch platforms? Would they churn from like say OnlyFans to where then you started doing animal porn?
Only animals.
Getting ready. Yeah, only only animals like .com, like this
I'm not going to copyright that. Someone else is welcome to copyright
only
that.
animals
Yeah.
com come
Dot dot co
come
dot ru. So that's probably the only place where you
dot
get away with it.
ru.com. Um, would they switch and then you move on? Yeah, you could get a whole like I don't know. How long do you think it would take you to like train your ass ready for a horse so it wouldn't kill you? A year or 2 years?
I don't know. Probably I'd give it a year for the stretching.
You could milk it. You
Because you'd
could
want to
milk
get the
it for a year.
stretching right, wouldn't you?
You would.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get a year's worth of like
Mm.
subscriptions building up to the
Mm.
the
You'd want to get at
the
least
moment.
halfway down the witch's hat.
You well, I think okay. No, you know what?
Mm.
Being that thick, it's actually length. If you the problem with a horse dick, right,
Mm. Not that we're
is more
experienced
about
with
like
this, but
taking
surmising.
like an entire arm. Like, can you take like a sort of a not a muscle builder's arm or something? Like
No, no,
horses
no. But
aren't like a bull cock or something.
no.
Like they're a bit more slender, but they're long. They're very long.
Mm.
Like that's like it'll be 18,
Not that I spend a lot of time
20
looking at
inch.
that kind of stuff, but yeah. Yeah. We've all seen
What do you mean?
we've all seen Discovery Channel. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it's not half
I don't
obvious.
know. Like I had horses around when I was
Mm.
like a teenager and shit. So like I've seen what
I
horse
mean, I
cocks
grew
are
up
like.
around
I'm
animals
aware.
myself, so
Um, you know. So I'm just
you
so
get
no,
to
I
see
know
what
I've
they
seen
do.
horses mate and
Mm.
stuff like in the live version, getting all erectile and crap.
Mm.
I'm yeah. So anyway, so I don't know that you need to go. It's about the witch's hat and how wide you can take it. I think it's how deep you can take it.
Mm.
So it's kind of
Too
like
much?
an fuck. I mean, and the horse. I mean, you can't ask the horse to go slow, can you? How
No,
do you like
no. It's just only
take
got
it
one
easy on
pace.
me?
Full
I,
steam ahead. Full steam
I,
ahead.
I don't. Yeah, it's not going to be like a tender with you, is it?
Mm.
Let me just help you out there. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, those who have been exposed to the Mr. Hands videos, I mean, they'd obviously know, you know.
So why is it called Mr. Hands? Does he
Well, that
use
was
his
his special
hands?
stage name or whatever. Not him, not Bash, but this other guy, this entrepreneur from Silicon Valley who had a fetish for that sort of thing. He had a dude handler, but he ended up dying from it. He got impaled, Mr. Hand, dying from internal damage.
Is this the classic video of the where the horse fucks the guy? Like,
Hmm.
is that Mr. Hands? Is that the classic
Apparently, yeah,
video?
yeah, classic.
Okay. But so this other person, what just had that video? Is that is that what
Yeah,
we're
he had a
saying?
few of them and a few other
Well,
ones.
isn't that just
But it
gags?
was
Aren't
just
they just gag
folders more than
videos?
anything. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it
you had whole
wasn't
folders of
actually you
horse
didn't get to
videos,
see the content of the folders, but it's more the content, the names of the content.
which was like horse
Porn.
porn,
Hmm.
and he needed a folder of horse porn. Was it?
Apparently, yeah, it was stored locally.
I mean, is it worse to say like if you're busted on that? Is it worse to come out publicly and trying to make a statement
Well,
going?
no, apparently
It was.
he's been fully open about it. Like
Oh, he's like, bring on the
he
horses.
wanted to be the horse. He both wanted to be the horse and take the horse. So in some of his
Oh,
comments on
what?
social media,
So he wants to have sex with a horse.
he
He
wanted
wants
to
to
be the
bang the
horse.
horse.
He wanted to be the horse with the big horse cock and just plowing it home.
Oh,
And then he wanted to be on the receiving end of the horse.
okay, so he transitioned from
Allegedly, allegedly.
what he alleges or what?
Well, that's from what I've gathered. But I mean, these days, lots of things can be doctored to make it look like that's what you've said. don't necessarily take a screen grab from someone's social media and go, oh, that's got to be truth, because it can be doctored, edited.
But I mean, okay, so but are they like is the YouTuber, is Vash like going, coming out like in defense of themselves, saying, "Bring me
No,
those
well, like I
dicks,
said,
those big
he on
juicy
his
horse dicks,
social
I want to
media,
suck
he's
them."
been very open about the fact that he wants to be a horse.
Uh,
And
He wants to be a horse.
he wants to be a horse and then
Okay, so he's
deliver,
kind of like
and
a
then he wants to
furry,
get a delivery from a horse.
and so he wants to become a horse and then be fucked by a horse.
That's what I was assuming,
That's
making assumptions, of course.
okay.
A horse is a horse, of course.
Well, I
Unless
mean,
it's
it's different.
Mr.
It's
Ed.
like if you're transforming yourself, if you're doing like a bunch, like depending on what level you want to go to, like to convert yourself into a horse. What kind of deformity could you do? Like imagine like sort of like
Inject
bone
yourself with
stint,
elephantitis.
bone stints,
Right in
like what do they call those things? Like snapping a bone basically and grafting, extending your arms, so you end up with like long, like so you got 4 long legs broken, and like so you can like do that, and then you prepare yourself. so
go
you
through the
can actually
transformation.
be, yeah, so you got like these long sort of arms and legs, kind of like with grafted bone and sort of your muscles stretched out, and so you're a bit weak. It's a it's a bit of a fragile, deformed looking creature.
Deformities.
Yeah. And then you've expanded your I don't know, whatever, like depending, like if you have a vagina or not, like you've expanded whatever holes you wish to, and train them to take a horse, and then you prepare. Would is like like what like like it's the image. The
Yeah, I
image is
know. I
creature.
know. I
It's
know.
kind of like it's a trippy looking creature. It's like a golem looking. I don't know. Is it beautiful? How do you make this elongated arms and legs sort of in so it can do, because
Converting
it's not
them
like
to
just doggy
hooves,
style.
converting your hands and your feet to hooves.
Mm.
I wonder if he'd go that far,
Like
go
sew
the
your
full,
fingers together.
That's it, sewing fingers together, making one big hardened fingernail.
Yeah, sew your fingers together. Yeah, to
One
like make a
giant
single.
hardened fingernail coming out of the end of it, which is your hoof.
So what would you do? Would you have to like sew that and cut your nails and sew them together so they'd start to grow as one
The
sort of
blending.
unified, large,
That's it.
the blending
Blending.
of the 5 nails? This freak creature. So this bash, what's
Man,
the job?
I mean, how can you live it down? Like after
I
that,
don't know.
mate.
I mean,
But
that's quite the
apparently
desire.
he got a
It's
whole
quite the
stack of
desire.
more subscribers. So
Oh well, I mean,
after it was
look, if
revealed,
somebody
his subscribership went up. It didn't go down. It didn't lose
somebody's
subscribers.
claiming that they're
Apparently,
going
he
to deform
gained quite a few
themselves
more. So
and like
maybe it was
start
all
breaking
just a
their own arms and
pure
legs to
publicity stunt.
extend and like
The
graft on
release,
extra
the
bone
accidental release of his
and
folders
like
content was
pins
just maybe a pure publicity stunt,
and
just to
turn themselves into a
swell the
horse so
numbers.
they can be fucked by another horse. I actually want to subscribe
You're
because
gonna search this
that's a
guy
kind
out.
of well, that's a kind of
He's a
grotesquerie.
socialist, so who knows?
It's a
Maybe
kind of
some of his messages
grotesquerie.
might be
He
worthwhile.
might accept,
Mm.
yeah, he might accept hay for
Payment.
give him some oats.
Payment of hay.
You just get him a bustle of oats.
Yep. Offer to have a brushing. Offer to give him a good brushing. Give his coat
coffee.
a good brushing.
It's not chicken nuggets. It's not chicken nuggets. It's bustles of oats. And he'll like totally mutilate himself out of personal desire for your pleasure. over 2 years.
Just to get
I reckon
that
2 years.
the subscriber count up.
Up for the event.
Put a lot of effort into this, boys. I better get more subscribers for it.
I reckon over like 2 years, you'd get a couple of mil of
Hmm.
subscribers.
Yeah.
It'd just be like putting lots of bustles of oats and shit. You'd be on all sorts of like good
handing over
horse
the
feed.
goods.
You'd have a float. You'd have a horse float. Imagine the kind of horse float you'd have. The best horse surgeons to mutilate you into being horse.
And then there's the ladies,
And
the
the preparing of the anus too for the horse, for the reception. So that would be sort of like the weekly like premium fans only chat, like sort of level.
That's it.
Would be, seeing the weekly trainings of the butt.
Stretching
I'm
procedures.
up to 14 inches. Yeah, I'm up to 14 inches. Like, I've still got another 6 to go.
That's it. And
then begins that training of the hard fuck.
ready to go. Ready to take on the
And then after about 20, then I can like perfect the hard fucking at 20, and then I'll be ready. Yep. Ching 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 ching. Who would like to see me have a go at doing?
That's it. In comes the super chats.
Yeah. No, I can't do it.
Blooded with the super
One
chats.
more. This is really. Oh, Mr. B, 1,000 froglets, one little
Mr.
1,000
Ed,
chicken
Mr.
nuggets.
Ed.
Mr. Ed, oh my God, 1,000 bustles of hay. Oh.
Wilbur.
I'll do that for me.
Oh, Wilbur.
Bash has really come up with a fucking serious marketing plan here, haven't they? They're incredible.
Killing it.
It's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, still, at the end of it, if you survive the fucking by the horse, and if you survive the mutilation of your body, also like just your deformed body. How do you get around? How do you explain that to your grandkids?
Yeah, well, hopefully you would be impaled. Hopefully you got impaled before they grew up and had access to those particular sites. Oh, look, it's Grandpa. What's he doing with? Oh.
No, but Grandpa would look like a horse. That would look like the horse. He would like the old leg.
Oh, the shame, my grandfather.
What's my granddad got 4 long legs? No, other granddads don't.
What's he doing to that lady?
He became a horse.
What's he doing to that lady?
What is so Grandpa becomes the horse and starts mounting at women. Oh, I see. So it's like chain.
I think it's his love for the powerful beast. I guess, isn't it? Love for a powerful beast.
So he wants to have this stallion pounding him, right, while he pounds a girl. And he's a horse. So he's like the mutant horse with the long, elongated legs and 5 fingernails mutated into single toenails.
Chotter.
And, like splints and shit going down. Elongated ass, like trained for a year. Just being fucked by this stallion. And then this mutant dude, like with his long hair, like pretending to be like a mane and shit. And there's like a hot girl under him just going, oh, this is what I want.
You wanted to take him to an all-new level, then you've got it.
This is what I want.
Got it.
She's like, this is the hottest thing ever. I so want to be fucked.
Everyone wants to date the horse.
The horse
man.
He's like, BoJack.
BoJack Horseman to the rescue.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, Bash.
Yeah. Well, as a marketing ploy, I'm sure it did very well. Like I said, got a whole
Needs to
stack of new
follow through.
subscribers, and
If you can't follow through on that, I'm
yeah,
coming after you.
that's it.
Imagine being like forced by a court of law to go through with what you said you'd do.
Yeah, yeah. Like
With the
actually having
subscribers,
to
like
follow up. Yeah.
like you've earned $1 million, and then you
Mm.
like back out. You're like, oh, I don't really want to have my legs snapped and grafted in to make myself look like a horse. And the subscribers taking a court. Like legally forced. The public snapping of your leg. Well, you fucking brought it on yourself, you stupid cunt.
That's it. I only had 500,000 subscribers, and now I got 1 million.
Snapping. Forced by the law. Judges just laughing at him. You sick, you fucking twisted cunt. Yeah, I'll chuck you a fiver.
That's it. Give me access to your Only Animals account.
The VPN links to like Germany.
Yeah.
Because that's where Only Animals would have to run from.
Yeah. That's it.
So Only Animals runs from Germany, and then just all these VPN people. For somehow like there's like an extra 1 million people in like just moved to Germany. It's all logged into Only Animals from all around the world.
I know it degraded to a definite visionaries expectations of Vash's future prospects.
I mean, isn't that what Vash is up to?
I guess. I mean, you're going to get subscribers. You got to put it out there, haven't you?
Well, anything less seems cowardly, almost pointless.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. Waffles. I mean, to keep the attention of the crowd these days, you've got to go to some extremes, haven't you?
Well, I think you do. The crowd wants you to.
I mean, what are you prepared to do to get that coin? To get the bag?
Yeah. What role? Like, what are you willing to pretend to be? What sort of like? Well, like a marketing executive, whatever. Whatever you're, whatever you want to pretend you are, whatever way of being, you're gonna sort of like sub your life to.
I don't know. I don't ever see myself having to get to that point where that would be required to retain or expedite subscriptions.
The horse thing, like that, where Vash has gone to, you don't want to go to Vash's level.
That wouldn't appeal to me. That's not my cup of tea.
So that's not what this channel's about.
No, I don't think I'd ever get to that point where horse action would be required.
No.
More than anything,
I mean,
what I do
on
my channel,
I'd be sad. I'd feel
Arian
sorry, like,
Sinchu channel.
I'd be like, are you okay, my friend? Like,
yeah, that's right.
Is there something we need to talk about? Like, is that like,
are you not getting enough hugs in the day?
Yeah, I know.
Is there something you need to talk to someone?
Resolve? Yeah,
that's right. Do you need to
before you
seek
go
professional
to this level
help
of
before you go to that?
Like,
that level. Exactly.
And how are you getting sent from the horse?
Would you start a pure equine channel? My life as a horse.
Just eating hay, running around naked in the field. trying to like the
Getting into
struggle
character.
that you've got,
Yeah, getting
the
into
struggle
character.
that you've got to grow fur all over your body, like, and how like
Mm.
people just
Mm.
don't appreciate like what it means to like be
You need
naked
the
and have
opposite of man.
the shame of
Don't
having
they?
to wear clothes.
Mm. Shame coverings.
Would you get like a little sheath, like say you're a male, like assigned male at birth,
Mm.
would you would
Wear a
you then
bamboo
have you?
sheath.
Well, no. Well, would you like sort of try and get surgically altered so that you had like a sheath that your penis sort of sat in, so it was put away? Like horses don't. The cock isn't just hanging out.
No,
Like
no, it extends and then obviously retracts depending
yeah,
on the
it's tucked.
excitement
It's
level.
tucked, man. It's tucked. So would there be a little tucking?
Well, you've seen how long it gets. I mean, you understand that a horse running with a hard on probably wouldn't run very well, and it'd be knocking into stuff and try to jump a
No, I
fence,
think,
try to jump a
yeah, I
fence,
think
and it'd be getting caught on the fence as you try to jump over.
I wonder if you would hear a horse scream if
Mm.
it jumped a fence with an erect penis and it hit the fence and the fucking penis like
Oh,
whiplashed
it'd be
back.
like getting punched in the
What
cock,
would
wouldn't
it?
it? I
What
mean,
would?
it'd be exactly the same as
What?
giving
Oh,
someone just giving you a
what
good slug in the
sound?
cock.
What?
You'd
What
be
sound would the
you'd be
horse
down for the
make?
count, wouldn't you?
Like, I reckon you'd hear like something that was almost human sounding. Like it wouldn't just be
Screaming,
it wouldn't
screaming.
the horse. Hell of a noise, man. Something that
Oh, we can laugh about it. We can, truly.
well, because it's not happening to us.
Yeah,
For
that's
some
right.
manifest,
That's someone
even that
else's.
horse.
That's someone
I'm sure
else's
that horse.
life goals, man. It's not ours. Living their best life,
I
as they
don't.
say.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're. Do I haven't. I'm not aware of like horses galloping or running around in the field
Mm.
with erect penises.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I don't know if they do that.
No, I mean, I think when it comes out, it's just ready for the action, and then once it's
Yeah, it's on
finished,
the spot.
it just basically goes back to its original state, which is
Yeah. It's just.
stored.
It's a point in time
Mm.
erection. It's not like it doesn't. It's not sort of. It doesn't have much temporal endurance.
No.
Mm.
Oh, I've got a Mr. Bear here. Hello, Mr. Bear. Tensions.
Tensions. Massaging the cat.
Yeah. It's the
The
pats when he
massage.
comes in.
Yeah, the special.
He's got to have the attention.
Do,
The initial
do,
attention.
do.
Then once he's had the initial
Do,
attention, he'll
do,
just
do,
fall asleep and
do,
chill.
do, do,
You're
do.
chilled.
And Sandy just get in there,
It's the original
just between the
attention.
little front blades, and just around the jaw. Yeah.
Scratching the back of the
That's
head.
it. It's between the eyes.
Max
Quite a
purring.
long
Make
bit
sure you get
there.
the max purring. It's max purring achieved. Satisfied with the pettings.
Yes. Satisfied with the pettings. Satisfied with the pettings.
So yeah, I had to do the whole dragon outfit today for the Year of the Dragon because we missed it last week, last Cheepies.
Well, true, and I mean,
so I did the whole dragon eyes, dragon horns, and the.
We had some rando chat on Valentine's.
Yeah. Yeah, I stored that, and I'll have to drop that in your folder.
Yeah, I think. I wonder if the rando chat, like, if I just apply some filters to it, and then it becomes like just the audio only. I don't know. Like, and just like.
Well, it could be part of the whole what is it called? It
Like the extended
Uno
media.
momentos.
Like this sort of for the
Podcast. Do the podcast thing.
for the benefit of the subscriber.
Mm. The special offline chats.
So if you're a total idiot, then you get offline chats as well. So if you're a general idiot, if you're real smart,
mad smart.
That's
it. Donut style.
Then you pay nothing and get nothing.
That's it. Value added. Nothing for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What's that old song from the Sound of Music? Nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever could. Ow, not my toe.
So you know how like those kind of like motivational speakers or like, you know, people who are, you know, this is how you get not get rich quick, but you know, success. Be a success motivated
That's
person.
it.
You know,
That's it.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
everything's
just gonna
short
do
of
these 5
praise.
simple things.
Satan.
I don't know why. I don't know
That's
why
it.
people do these 5 simple things. If you're not doing these, you're just a fucking idiot. Like, you know. So something like that, right? And all of it, like you know, all that, that mob.
Anything for success.
Well, okay, so one thing there is that if you look at like the base unit, they'll have some sort of really affordable, well, whatever, not that affordable, but still like $400 or something. Yeah, and then what they have, like if you do the $400 one,
the base training, yeah,
you get access to like higher level training. But if you listen to what they're actually saying, then like, but if you've done the basic training, you should have it. And the only reason why you'd be doing more advanced training is because you're an idiot. And in particular,
the
idiocracy
level increases.
Well, what it's really also about, besides, no, it's really not really about being an idiot. It's more about like how much
unlearning
you need to pay,
what you've learned your whole
through
life.
money.
Yeah.
To how much to where you finally believe, like you actually you accept what was already told for you for $400.
That's right. It cost me
$1,000,
and I really believe it now.
If you've got to go to 2 retreats and see me personally and do all the things, and it's going to cost you $25,000, that's really a you problem.
Yeah, because you should have got it in, you know, the $400 package.
Yeah, like
should have just, you know, picked it up and gone and run with it
that's
from
right.
there, you know.
And so one way of looking at like these people who run these sort of, you know, scams and basically like sort of motivational scams,
teach you how to pick
up. Teach you how to pick up. Is that it's actually not that. It's like the prey is you're the prey. You prey on yourself. You know, on like
gullibility. That's it.
Well, also
engagement of max gullibility.
Yeah, deferring responsibility. You've made them responsible for, you know, so you just like start handing over money for them to achieve nothing. Like, it's kind of weird. Until you get that, you don't need to give them anything. It's already
where you've got you got the skills.
Some people
got the necessary skills to achieve the whatever that you're engaging in.
And you know, like, so I know somebody, a friend of mine, who's like really into these mob.
Oh, yep.
And like,
is he done the $25,000 package, the double retreats with the, you know, the leader of the cult, the leader of the cult's personal attentions?
Yeah, well, no, but had the online sort of version of that with minimal personal attention, like tinsy bit maybe. But but there's this whole other level, right? You know, like WWE, how there'd be all of the fake battle going on between the different
choreographed. That's right.
Choreographed battle, like, well, not just on stage but off stage. You know, the Undertaker hates The Rock, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, and takes his girlfriend. Oh, Rock, I never loved you. You
That's
know,
it.
Undertaker dick, it takes me
That's
under,
it.
you
He
know.
digs right deep. He
Deep.
makes sure it's 6 foot plus.
That's right. Right.
Undertaker gives me
And the
six
Rock's
foot
hurt.
plus.
Oh, each time, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
There will be a brief pausing of my audio while I make less of myself.
the lessenings. Well, but that kind of thing that would go on, that sort of also that relationship level storytelling inside WWE now goes on inside other industries, like including the self-help motivational industry, like people like, you know, in like relationships and like the power couple of like total self-awareness, and they just break up, and like one's caught sleeping with another person and the other's like, you know, and then but it's a whole thing, and then they come like this total redemption arc. Oh, I realized this, blah 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 blah, you
I
know.
forgive you. I
No,
forgive you,
no.
but I forgive myself at the same time for feeling that I could hold you and capture you when you are your own self entity.
That's it. So then they separate.
Yeah, that's it.
So then they get the
The
audience
only
then
way you
spends
can
double the
really be
money.
together is if you're with other people. Oh,
Mm,
okay.
no, because together they were
That
only able to
really
like
makes sense to me.
together they were only able to earn one sub stream
Yeah.
because people were subscribed to them
Mm.
as a couple.
But I've seen a
But then
few
by
of
breaking
those,
up,
like, you know, the YouTube incestuousness where,
mm,
you know, you've got a lot of followers, so you get the girl, and then
mm,
she flies all the way over from wherever she's from to be with you, and then you know she then starts chatting with the other dude who's got
mm.
twice as subscribers you have, so she then gets it on with him, and you're in an open relationship because it's all cool and shit, because you're totally cool with having an open relationship.
Mm.
And then she leaves and takes half of what you got and goes over to the next guy, and then
In the end, you're so dissatisfied with life, you just try and market yourself as a horse dick.
to compensate for it.
Yeah.
That's one thing that has been happening quite a bit. There's like a lot of the red pillar guys are all like they all say the same thing. Like you basically you watch in a year's time they won't be together anymore. And I tell you, man, they're on the mark. Like they get it.
Oh, oh yeah, they'd like
You
that it's
don't
an
keep
absorbent.
something by sharing it. Put it that way. You want to keep something, you definitely don't share
No.
it with others because if it wasn't yours to begin with, and that's the way they want to play that thing. I'm me, and I'm my own entity. Then fair enough. Then don't get married. Don't put the ring on the finger. Don't do anything. Just
No.
have the time, and then when the time's over, just go see you later.
If you want to come around and do whatever, that's your business.
That's
Otherwise,
it. If you want to
whatever.
come and drop over every now and again when you finish playing with your other friends and you want a bit of, the
Mm.
10 dick again, then you can get the 10 dick
Mm.
or the 10 gina,
The 10 China.
whichever one it is.
Well, hmm.
I mean, pairing up is all well and good, but if the pairing is beneficial to both parties, then it's a good pairing. But if you're in a relationship and then all of a sudden you have eyes for others, then don't say to someone that you love them because you can only love one person at a time. You can't love multiple people.
Okay. I think words here become important, like loving.
I mean, you can love someone for who they are, but when you're devoting
Mm.
time and being with someone, then I think, you know, that's exclusive rather than non-exclusive.
You could look at three. Okay, here's a test.
I'll put it this way, Si. I could never go out with a porno star. I could never
Okay.
have a relationship with
Oh,
a
really?
porno star other than just sex. That's all it would be.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
Fair
happy
enough.
to have sex with a porno star, but I would never have a relationship with one.
Or like a sex worker, for example.
I would never desire to have a relationship with someone who sees multiple people.
Mhm.
But
Fair
that's
enough.
me. That's me. That's just my nature.
Sure.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to enforce that on anyone else, but you know, that's
No,
from
no,
my
no.
point of view. When you're with me, you're with me. If you're not with me, then
Yeah,
you're
and
not.
this.
That's pretty simple, isn't it?
Okay.
That's just fucking straight up.
Sure. Seems pretty straight up. I think so. It's easy to explain, at least.
Keeps it simple.
I mean,
I don't like to overcomplicate things. And having
if someone was
multiple
unsure,
partners, that's overcomplication.
if someone was unsure what that meant, and sort of did things wondering if that might not be it or whatever, I don't know. But, well, you know. I think, yeah, I think that's all it is. It's just like,
Yeah. It depends on what you can handle.
I tell you what, well, it's just
Some people
what's the
may be
people?
able to handle having multiple
No.
relationships. That's well and good. That's their thing.
People with preferences. What do you come down? What it comes down to, as far as being able to like distill it in the pot to make it like the most refined sauce, is people with preferences. I mean, we could go life with preferences and like take out people, so it's like cats and fucking, you know, cacti. But to say people and preferences, it's like, yeah. Oh, hi, are you a sex worker? Yes. Oh, I don't want to hang out with you. You know.
No, I never said that. I never
Oh
said
no,
that
no,
I
sorry, hang out. No,
wouldn't
like
hang out with
relationship.
them or whatever. I mean, fair
No,
enough. I mean,
relationship,
if they're
relationship
paying,
with
if
them.
they got all the money and they're paying, hang out with you as long as you want. Where's my new Android phone?
No, but you're not going to be their friend. Like, you're not going to be their partner.
No.
I don't think they need you to hang around to pay you. People pay them
Yeah,
to hang around.
that's right.
I reckon escorting works. Interesting. I'd love to be an emotional.
Support person.
I don't know, like an emotional gigolo. Yeah, like you don't have sex with someone, you have like a
You're
day
the
out with them.
you're the what do they call it? Emotional tampon.
But for like
Soak up all the
$1,000 for
grief.
the day,
Yeah, soak up all your grief. $1,000.
go out, clothes shopping, do the things. Yeah. You know, part of it is like, you know, you just tell me what book you're reading, and I just read that myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a
So
little bit of
topics of
backstory.
conversation covered. Yeah, I get you.
I love that book, honey.
Yeah. I really liked this particular part of it.
That's right. Yeah, I've thought about being an emotional. I don't know how you'd market it.
Emotional support person.
Like maybe like you've done like different cooking courses. Like maybe you'd have to go and do proving things like where
Mm.
different cooking known Spanish,
Well, I guess
Kenyan.
it'd be like pre-booking a prostitute, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Ring up and you say, oh, I'm looking for this particular thing, and she has to be demure and this particular hair color and this particular size, and you know what I mean? Like you give them the parameters of
and then it
what you're
just sends you
looking
the
for.
same girl no matter what you said.
Ultimate insult.
But yeah, whatever. Oh, she was busy. That's not it.
We do. All our other girls are busy and out on jobs, but we do have the same one that you saw last time. Oh, not the same one again.
Yeah. It's always the same hotel but different rooms.
Different rooms, but the same woman or the same person. Depending on what your preferences are.
Wow.
Silently thinking.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to see what kind of animals you could fit inside the room before it becomes damaging to the room.
Maximum of 3 goats.
You could have goats, yeah. Get a
This
fucking
room
goat or
takes a
two in there.
maximum of 3 goats.
You can have a girl, a guy, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Dog, goat. 3 goats.
Three
Yeah.
goats
Horses,
or the
yeah,
equivalent of.
cows
No,
or like
it'd
a
be only one
llama.
cow, one horse, because it's not. It's like three
No,
three
well, I
goats
reckon
equal
a
a
horse
horse,
is.
doesn't
I reckon a horse is like you'd have to have a specialized room if you're like having a larger animal.
it? A stable, they call it. They call it a stable site. You'd need your
You're
own
gonna need
special
a.
stable, something with a little manger in the corner, just in case. You get some
I see.
latecomers that need to stay in the stable with you. Oh, I tell you what was funny was I was watching Joe Rogan, and one of his latest podcasts he said, oh, if the way the things are turning out in the world lately, if Jesus is ready to return, it would be a really good time right now to return.
And then like the other person across the room said like, "Oh, well, that's what Trump's trying to do." Is that how it went down?
Something to that effect. Yeah,
Yeah, well, that doesn't
Joe
surprise me.
Rogan. He's all over the place. He's a traveler, that man. He is. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for him. He goes to places where most people wouldn't. I mean, we sort of go there, but we don't have the subscriber base that old Joey Jojo has.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about certain things. I'd say, oh, do you have any strong political views? Yeah, I think the politics is obsolete.
Bring
You
in
should just
AI, bring
ban,
in AI
fucking
politicians.
ban.
That's it, mate.
Well, no, don't have to be no politicians. You just, what you have is like
What
departments that fucking
we were
manage
looking
shit.
into that at one stage. Was it the what was the AI political party we were looking at? The trying to remember the name of it. Search it.
But no, I mean just self-representative democracy. you know, through the using communications devices to be able to vote on things, and basically you sub to like think areas of interest. Like, you know, not everyone's into roads, not everyone's into hospitals. You don't want everyone having to vote. You know, and you reach some kind of like sort of minimum interest level. Like 60% of the population have to be into roads.
Mm.
And if it doesn't get to 60%, then like, you know, if you kind of get forced to be interested in roads. And then as issues come up, you vote on the shit, you know. You're interested in it, you know. It's not like you're like, and if you've got like a interest group, that's so powerful at all. Like you're just like, it's still just one person having one say. You don't represent anything, like, because it's just self-representative. You can gather together and say, oh, let's all like say the same thing. You know, that's all good. That's your business. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, self-representative democracy is totally doable.
Mm.
Uh,
I mean, and we're at that
and
level now where we could, you know, as humanity, we could handle it.
yeah, totally. You're not going to get involved with things you're not interested in.
No.
But that's madness. And and the more you are interested in something, you might get quite interested. You know, you might get really into that. Like you might go into like the financial aspect of it and stuff, and have you say, like at a low level of budget, like if you want to. You know, I mean, it depends on how granular, like you want to provide, like the level of engagement and transparency. And I think we don't. I mean, maybe transparency is like a separate issue. But anyway, you could totally have everyone voting on the things.
Mm. We could just have our ficus in there, ficus in
Yeah,
Parliament.
it doesn't matter who your
That's it.
name is; it's
As
irrelevant.
long as it's got the little speaker underneath it, and it can. You
Yeah,
know.
70% of Australia is going to come and kick your ass. You know what I mean? Like maybe that. You know, just that's the it just says that. Just don't fuck with us, China. 70% of Australia says don't fuck with us.
Mm.
And it shows like sort of the backing of that, and like, you know, 35% of
But it to be
Australia
or
is
not.
Chinese. You know, 35% of China, Australia is Chinese, and it says don't fuck with us, China.
Mm-hmm. We're
That's
happy
it.
with our libertarian
Well,
was it democracy?
oh, I know. I think mm,
Flex, was it Flex? I don't
what's
remember
that?
the name of that the AI politician party thing that's talked about for a bit here in Australia.
Oh, yeah. You showed
Was
me.
it
I read
wasn't
about them, and
Flex? Was it no?
I treated it with disdain that it
Mm.
deserved, and moved on with my life and forgot immediately about it. But yes, now that you remind me, I do recall
Mm.
like there being some stupid thing. It was good. Like I'm glad. I'm glad people
Mm.
try that. We need to have a lot of instances of people doing stupid shit so that we can get to a
Get
good
it
thing.
right.
You
That's
know,
right.
I've done many stupid things to get to good things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Mistakes will be made in the course of
oh,
getting to where
fucking
we need to be. Yeah.
bring them on. Yeah, that's how I learn. Artificial stupidity. You know.
Artificial stupidity.
Yeah.
Mm. Don't touch that fire, it'll burn you. Oh,
How
okay. No worries. You
fast
told me not to
can you
touch it,
make
so I'm going to touch it
mistakes
just to see
so
if
that
it
you
does
can
burn.
figure out the right way to
Ouch, it
do it?
does burn.
That's the art, is how
Mm.
fast you can make mistakes. We've made a model that can make 1 billion mistakes a second. Fuck,
And
it's
it
like
learned
amazing.
really quick. It learned
Like
really
really
quick.
quickly in
That's
two
right.
seconds, it had like done
Mm.
like a 10,000 years of human development
That's it.
by making that many
10,000
mistakes. It
years
was
of
up to
human mistakes were completely
yeah,
created in the
yeah,
model. And
yeah.
now
That's
we've
right.
gotten to the point where we're less likely to put our hand in the fire because we know the fire burns and we know it's
Mhm.
hot because we've done that already.
But you still find it amusing to burn the occasional child with it, you know, because it squeaks. Like the mother, like, You know, like we're still at that point. It's just,
Mm.
you'll just sacrifice the odd child for entertainment.
A bow, yeah. Sacrifice it for its bullish ways.
The children actually come up with the stories. Like it's not actually. So what actually happened was the creation of the sort of the demons and the gods came from, say, children growing up with just random shit happening to them, like the
Mm.
parent burning them and stuff, and then trying to like figure out why that happened. And I say to someone else, why did dad kill Bobby? You know, fucking, he has this like it's the god of the wine that
Mm.
speaks to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As soon as he's been on the wine for a few
Black
hours, he looks
ass,
at
that
Bobby
fucking
with
ass.
those,
Yeah,
the
yeah, those
the eyes
special
of the
eyes.
fire.
Mm. And so, and then the children grow up
Mm.
and tell these stories about, like, like how people grow up and they say they look at the garage door opener and they always imagine, no matter how far they were away as a kid, that if you pressed it, it would open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were really scared about actually, pressing it in the car. They like wanted to be bad and press it while they, one day they did, like when they were on
When the car
holidays.
was right in
And
front of it, yeah,
no, like they were on holidays and they didn't get back for 2 weeks. And they pressed it again and really hoped that when it came back, that the
the
door
door
was
would be
closed.
open
Yeah, so
and
that
the
kind of
house is
thing, like,
empty. Yeah.
that's right. So, but you grow up actually believing these things,
Mm.
like they don't go away. Like you just like continue to. That's your way of being. Is that the door button thing? That, you can't turn the light on when you're driving. Like you get arrested.
Mm.
Uh, so you assemble these kind of fake stories, and then on you go. Um, and they don't have to just be about like a door opener. They could be about these kinds of other kinds of sort of broadest concept or topics.
Why does nature want to hurt me?
Because you fuck with it.
Mm. And we do as humanity. We do fuck
I
with
mean, if
nature.
you, I mean, if you're like lying there, like if you're a baby, and you can think to yourself, like, why am I being eaten by these ants in my anus? Why are these
Mm.
ants like entering my anus and eating me from the inside out? It's fucking painful.
Well, because you sat on the ant's nest.
Well, also you've been abandoned,
Cause and effect, isn't it?
somehow, like you've been abandoned on the ant's nest. That's probably why it's, like you're a baby.
Mm.
Beyond, like, so I'm just trying to, where you haven't fucked with it. If you dangled your genitalia into an ant's nest
Mm.
and it got a little bit carried away, well, you dangled your genitalia in the ant's nest.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, cause and effect.
Yeah.
Mm.
I did all that
Why
research on
would
that stuff.
you felt it sting your feet, you felt it sting your hands when you interfered with
There's
them. So why would you want to put the softest part of your body?
the
Would
tingly
it be
sensation.
would it to gauge the amount of pain, perhaps? You know, perhaps it wasn't as painful on the fingertips, and you wanted to know whether it'd be more painful through experimentation.
Mm. The rocking backwards and forwards as the nibbling begins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm biting into the scrotum. I don't know. There's that dude, like I was read about, like, for example, a guy using mole crickets. Is it fucking mole crickets? I don't know. No,
Mm.
maybe that's blend. I'm blending, but mole cricket sounds frighteningly worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, little crickets, like putting crickets and like capturing them in a thing, like a thing, so that they start nibbling on his dick and
Well,
like the joy of
there is
that.
such a thing as milk crickets, you know.
What
If you look it up on Urban Dictionary, milk crickets,
milk?
milk
What
crickets.
did they?
Well,
Do
the
they?
definition of milk cricket is that
Does it start
someone
licking?
puts crickets in their anus, and then someone
Oh,
then enters the anus and then fills it up with their milky white, and there you get the milk crickets. Shit out the milk crickets.
well, okay,
Hmm.
right. I mean, Okay, like you've put the live crickets
Live crickets.
in your anus.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fucking painful.
How would you get them in there? That's the
They're
question.
they're
Without it,
serrated. Oh,
you'd need to have some sort of,
yeah, you'd
a
have to have,
device for
yeah, you'd have to have an opening.
insertion. It'd be like
Yeah,
a
you'd have to
funnel
be
or something,
like
wouldn't you?
a
Funnel,
funnel,
you'd funnel them in there
some,
first, and then.
and help welcome them like a
Mm,
mole
mm,
cricket. It's like, oh, the dark place. Let's go to the safe place.
mm,
Burrow in here.
yeah.
That's fucking insanity. You know what I mean? Like the mole cricket, that's what they do. They go
I'm
underground
not
and
joking.
they're
Look it
like,
up, man.
I know.
It's on Urban Dictionary.
Do you put the milk in your anus first? No,
No,
no, no.
no, the
That
milk is
comes from the butt.
provided
That
by
comes from
the other user.
that's what the user.
The other person who then inserts their
Yeah, yeah. So we'll get
yeah,
to
yeah,
that. We'll get to
yeah,
that.
yeah. Then
So
they add their milk to it, when they're finished
do you put
enjoying
more than
themselves.
one mole cricket or just one?
I don't know, so it's not one. It's not something that I
Uh,
would normally do, but I did
the
get.
detail. You don't know the
I don't know
details.
the details because it's never been something I'm keen to
I mean,
experience. But
because one seems a bit hit and miss. I think you'd want two or three, wouldn't you?
well, you'd want a bunch of them, wouldn't you? Like a handful of crickets. Decent handful of crickets, 10, 20 crickets or something. Just all scurrying around inside there.
Oh, no, they they would burrow. They would start.
Scratching and burrowing like
They would know.
a
It's like
gerbil, tiny clawed gerbil, and the Pet Shop Boys.
they would burrow in. They would. I mean, because it's sort of like its own little pathway. They might just sort of scurry along the pathway. They wouldn't need to like dig
Your
sideways.
story
Like
of your
let's
life
go
as a
as
gerbil
it's,
in the Pet Shop Boys house.
I mean, the furriness of a gerbil inside your anus, that would be incredible, I reckon. Don't you think?
Hmm.
Just think about all those little, like, unless you had an allergic reaction, like millions of little hairs, just like, so, like, have you ever done that thing, like,
It's always been an exit portal for me, so.
no, but just, it's not about that. It's
Mm.
like, say on your arm, you've got hairs, and then you just run your fingers across the top of those, and how that's like such a sensation. And then if you had like the sensitivity of like say inside of your butthole, and you had a gerbil, just sort of like brushing gently against you, having a little sniff, you know, like this little furry sort of nuzzling around. Surely that would just be outrageous. People would like pay good money
Well, I'm
to
sure
have
they
such a,
do.
like an exotic
Sure they do.
experience.
Sure
Like
they have special places where people can go and experience such delights.
the
Yeah,
get the gerbilization.
behind the
Would
red
you have
door
like?
in the back rooms.
Would you have it such that the the entry portal that you sort of inserted that the gerbil could come into, the gerbil had like a viewing chamber
The glass
that was
tubule,
sort of, well,
plastic tubule.
so that the gerbil could see, and then maybe like where like slots and things so that bits of you could like just sort of come in a little bit. The gerbil could have like a little lick or a little sniff, a little like the sort of the what do you call those things? The whiskers. The whiskers could do a little sort of a tickling. The odd, and as sort of like so you can insert things like because you don't want it to like run riot. You'd have to have like a little sort of mesh, a fence. You know what I'm saying? Like a little. Gerbil has access to the
This is
fleshy
definitely the
folds.
animal edition of the Talk is Cheap tonight, isn't it?
Like
No,
I don't know,
it's just
man.
been way off on this tangent, man. Ever since the Vash incident.
It's fucking Bash's fault, man. His marketing is like
Mm,
rubbed off on us.
that's right. The meme has come across.
I don't know.
Meme innings. he memes well, but perhaps it's just the direction he's heading in is more unique to himself rather than to others.
I don't know.
Mm.
So I was on a
But
podcast this week. Hey,
oh, you did another podcast.
yeah, I was on someone else's podcast, man.
Okay,
They
cool.
interviewed me. A friend of mine
I will never
from
get
Adelaide.
jealous, you know. I mean, you got to
Oh no,
share
you better
yourself
not,
around.
because we need to actually branch out to the next thing
Yeah,
that we have, is
that's
where
having
you and I go out and we talk to have our conversations with
friends
other people.
to make friends in the
Conversations, man.
YouTubical world.
Whatever.
Mm.
Have little conversations. Mm.
There's definitely a lot of inquiring minds out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, searching's its own thing. Like, people are inquiring,
Mm.
seekers. That's their whole thing, man. They just seek.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's a whole thing. You don't have to sort of move beyond seeking. They always have temporary little findings,
Yeah.
so they get little, like, pretend wins,
And it's good from
and
the
then
point of
go,
view of the whole, comparing notes, I guess. That be the way of
oh,
expressing it?
I
Different
don't know.
points of view,
Well,
because that's what a lot of the Cheap's about. It's
it is, but
comprehending the different points of view.
I think it's coming. Sometimes it's also just coming up with points of view, just to try and sort of like figure out the where a person must be to like
Mm.
have these ideas.
Yeah.
Like, what is the reality that a person lives in to want to be a horse and have sex with people as a horse, and have
Mm. Mm.
horses have
Mm.
sex with them as a horse, and such a focus on sex?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what that means?
Well, it is a
Like,
big
what does
part
that
of
mean? What does that
human
mean?
life and human reality is sex. So, you know.
Oh no, no, that's the cool. That's fine, but like, what does it like? What does it mean? It's interesting. Like, I think, and so that we go to these funny places, but the funny places is like, no, how does a person? What's the person's rationale?
Yeah,
Where's
to
the
get to
rational
get to
place?
that
Because there
position.
is. There's a
Yeah.
place where a person feels that it's right. Like,
Mm.
it's not because I think it's a stupid idea.
Mm.
Whether I would preference it or not, I don't. It's not my preference. But I'd pay $2 to fucking watch somebody completely deform themselves to do it. I actually would do that. That'd be just weird. I'd feel a bit twisted by it,
Yeah.
maybe just
Yeah.
subtly. It'd be interesting, like, how that would deform me. I think no more than
But
killing a few
you'd be
mice.
contributing and participating in
They're
their
just their
their
love for themselves, their goal,
yeah, whatever their thing is.
their trip,
The trip.
trip. I'm not opposed to their trip, but it is interesting. So there must be. So I always feel like, in that regard, there's a. So that's what I often do. Like, where is the scenario? Like, I wish we were doing the talk is cheap.
Mm.
When we were like the night that we just did the whole thing about the cars, and where cars
Oh,
became the
yeah.
dominant,
The sentient dominant
the
creatures.
sentient,
Yeah.
the dominant creatures, and like
AI
had
cars
drivers,
taking
like
over.
like
Yeah, that's
like
it.
yeah, yeah, and had
Breeding the
drive
drivers.
breeding drivers, like that is like trippy shit. Like,
Mm.
but what is it? It's the rationale. Like, we're like finding like these like strange little like rabbit holes of ways of
Well, it's the
why you would
interpretation
why you would end
and
up in
the
that
you
weird
know
place. Like, where how do
yeah,
you
yeah.
end up
But
there?
it's the
You don't see
interpretation and then obviously the expansion on the what's
on the idea.
currently available versus what could be available, or the probability of the availability. because as a human race, I mean, you know, they push the boundaries of the normality to that extreme, because they, you know, they find it amusing, and then two, it's a possibility. We're looking at possibilities. I mean, who knows? In 100 years, 1,000 years, maybe cars are driving around breeding humans and having them as drivers, and humans just become more than just a, you know, just basically become meat behind the wheel.
Well, I mean, in what direction from now do you have to travel to get to the place where that happens?
Mm.
How long does it take you to walk there? I don't know. Like, is it 1,000 years? Well, maybe.
Probably be less than that these days.
I
I
think you
mean,
could
the
walk there a bit
cycle of
quicker than that.
technology.
Probably
I
walk there
mean,
in
even
10,
just looking at the
50 years.
AI generation from last year to this year, like the amount that the AI has perfected pictures, like, you know, you text to image, has just exploded.
Oh, people
And
have no
you've
idea.
yeah, and
People
then
still just don't have no idea what the fuck is going on, man.
I
Like, it's so
think a lot of
interesting.
it, like you know, we discussed, it scares the shit out of them because they don't know where it's going to end, and it won't. It'll just progress. It'll just get more and more perfected in what it does, to the point where it can do
I
every job.
think,
You know, the necessity for a human will be no longer required, other
but
than
here's a question.
supervision. You know, supervise the thing doing its thing. Traveling companion, augmented reality traveling companion for AI. You are the eyes, the ears, the
The
nose, and the
augmented.
mouth. That's it.
You
You're
are
the extension.
the sensory
You're the
system of
IOB.
the
You become the
and
IOB.
yeah, and it augments your intelligence. Is an augmentation. It is. It's just we don't. It isn't artificial. It's just
Mm,
it's augmentation,
mm.
and it's just augmenting like the universal. Like it's just intelligence itself. Like yeah, and that can augment us. Oh, have I lost my headphones?
No, no, I can still hear you.
Good. It was just like a depth of audio sort of suddenly there.
You do sort of fade in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I talk quite quietly usually. Like it's like I'm not a very
Not a
so I'm gonna
loudspeaker.
actually like I look forward maybe sometime this year later on. I don't know, sometime in the future
Mm.
I can save up and get I want to get like a Rode lapel mic. They
A
sound
proper,
amazing.
proper, yeah, road
Well, that's not
lapel.
even $400, whatever. Like just $200. No, they're actually $200. They're like a little one which plugs into your smartphone or your laptop.
Yep.
Chucks a little signal, can have a little thing plug in either end. Little lapel mic. It'll make us sound like 10 times better than we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only reason I'm, like I said, I put a lot of filters and things onto my voice through the OBS
Yeah.
for my mic. So I've added a shit ton of uh, extra filters and clampers, and so you don't hear the background noise. I'm hoping that I'm masking the sound of the fan. You know, my ceiling fan going spunter because
The
it's
whoopee whooper.
freaking hot wearing these freaking headphones for two to
Funny.
3 hours. They're very sweaty and
It's
very
hard.
stinky.
For fashion and art, we hurt, darling. We hurt.
We hurt ourselves for the art.
For the art, darling.
Mm,
Hurt
mm.
ourselves.
Well,
It's
actually, I
just
was
have no
regaling
idea the
regaling at
suffering.
work the whole the growing of that program I watched, the movie where they had the virus which started causing people to grow extra organs, and then they ended up
Yeah.
having a whole art form around the removal of the extra organs, like performance art, where they'd do live surgery and broadcast it. That's an interesting
Mm.
premise, that whole
You
growing
know what? It's,
organs, growing extra
mm.
organs. So, grow 3 kidneys, grow 4 kidneys. Hey man, you don't need those extra kidneys, do you? You only need 2. Sell them extra kidneys.
What would be the value, do you think, in having 4 kidneys?
Well, you
Like,
could drink,
what
you
would
could drink, you
you
could drink like a soldier and not get as drunk, I guess.
would it be to not get drunk, or would it like
Oh, that's more a liver thing, isn't it?
what would it do? Yeah, what would
The
it
liver
do? I
thing
don't
does.
know.
So if you had 2 livers, I guess you wouldn't get as, you'd only get half as drunk. You drink twice as much if you had 2 livers.
You could have like maybe you could like would it? I reckon it'd be easier to make a twice as functional liver. Like you sort of start to weave in. What do you think people would accept? Like a sort of a
When you go
module
back out,
on the side of the liver,
because it's a weird.
like a bonus liver.
Berenstein wants to go back out, I think. Let's go door. Yeah.
I think like if you had like in the culture novels by Ian M. Banks, where inside us we just have a little module
Mm.
that can emit whatever the thing is. So if you want more serotonin or dopamine, whatever your thing is, whatever you want more or less of,
The omni
it can
organ,
adjust.
special omni
Well,
organ,
it
which
can
could
it can just adjust your
change
chemical
change
profile.
function to what is required. Like say, for instance, you needed to
Oh,
hold your breath underwater. You
oh no 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 no
increase your
no! This is just
capacity by
no. This is
pretending to
just a
be another
simple thing.
lung.
Which no, this is just a thing which just allows you to adjust your chemical balance. So you could just go into like a menu, basically like in your biohacking, and just adjust what
Pull
your
up the menu for the
serotonin, like your
extra
yeah,
serotonin.
oxytocin, whatever. Do your adjustments so that you sort of like optimize to be the way you wish, and you just decide to have like effects. Like just plug in nicotine or
Going
something
into a
like that if
certain
that's what you
area
want.
so you increase your melanin, so that you're
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
compatible with the
Uh, mhm.
people in that area by either
That's it.
increasing or
Darken up.
decreasing your melanin. That's it.
Yeah. Become a brother.
That's it. Instantly.
Become a banker. So this pasty white person like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking programmer.
Ancient one.
Ancient. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's
Green skin. Do a green skin every now and
mm,
again to throw them off.
just yeah, that's it. Ah, no, I'm a gobo. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That's my. I love being a gobo. It's my whole thing. I hang out in the gobo quarter.
Mm. Hang with the gobos. Hey, it's a possibility. We're heading down that track where
Oh no,
the
that's where we're heading.
biohacking is going to be a thing. It'll be the
I was thinking
next big
about
thing.
yeah. I was thinking about like what's next. Like as they say at the say this for example the Mardi Gras, right?
Mm.
And what kind of float could you do? Because there's all these floats and if you like you go, oh, I'm going to do a different float. Like what would you be representing? And start like representing like transhumanism.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have like these floats with like just AI girlfriends and shit, like just that waifus, like
Yep.
big sort of like three, those like so like yeah, just having 3D tanks and shit. You got
Yep.
like waifus up
Cruising through.
there.
That's it. Gobo girls.
Gobo Gobo girls like dancing, like a
Yep.
whole row of like sort of animated Gobo
Twerking.
girls twerking. There's always like people down there like little like ears on and shit going, yay! Just being super excited as
That
the
is a
Gobos
trend
go
on
past.
TikTok at the moment. The cat girls and wolf girls and
Oh, for
mm,
sure, man.
mm, super keen. There's some super keen ones out there to convert. Be happy if they had their own real cat ears. your dog ears.
Oh, yeah, I reckon that there would be like people willingly.
Lining up to get the modifications, body modifications.
Could you get people to do seed funding to research like to be able to attach like malleable, well, ears that wouldn't just die. I don't know, something. What, what's the function? Is it just aesthetic? Like, do they add to your auditory capacity?
Well, they would want to, wouldn't they? Like if you think about it, you would want
It's a
to
big
add.
hole in your head. Like,
Mm.
I think the thing that you don't think when you see that,
Perhaps the ears themselves integrate with the other auditory mechanisms and
but
provide additional, like
if you look at a
directional and.
cat's head,
Mm.
like I don't have to ask you to do it. You already know.
No, I know.
If
I've
you
looked
look
in
at
a cat's ear.
Bear's
I've
head,
cleaned mites out of my cat's ears. So.
that the cavity, the thing that's here,
Mm.
like if this is really an ear of a cat or a fox, the hole in the side of my skull here,
Mm.
for the size of this ear, it's bigger. It's as big as it's about as big as these eyes. Like it's a fucking big hole.
Mm.
Like,
Well, it's taking in a lot of sound, so.
yeah, a lot of that space would be taken up by actually the eardrum and things. Like the size of this head is actually a lot of eardrum to deal with that big ear. And having like two sets of ears, this is the thing.
Well, would the surgery take away the original set of ears and then maybe migrate across to the other new set? Would that be
And do they
more the
become? And is it like a digital array? Like, is it sort of just like it looks like that, but then what they are is they're actually using that sort of shape as parabolic things and like this sort of adjustable sort of. Do you end up with cat hearing? So as you're moving your ears, you can.
in point
Do you
and
get?
yeah,
Yeah. Do you get like training so you can like move
echoing
the
effects
muscles?
and sounding?
What's happening over there? What are they? You can
Mm,
listen to two conversations at once.
mm, mm. Tune in on two conversations.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I do
if you look at
understand.
the way our ears are, they're designed to grab from they're basically front facing, even though they're on the sides of our heads. The way that the ear itself is composed is to grab sound and then direct it into the ear itself. So
Mm,
it channels sound and moves it, obviously forces it into the hole
mm.
to
So
beat
we
on
have
the drum. So
so our hearing is very linked to our sight.
yeah,
So we relate what we hear the loudest thing to be in front of us.
that's right. And
I
then
think.
yeah, and then it becomes the focal point for the eyes.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's it, because if you rotate, that's where the ears move towards. Unless something is genuinely to your left or your right,
Mm.
but then you turn around.
Well,
You sort of wouldn't.
then you get the left and right, the response. I mean, you don't hear as well something behind you, but to your
No.
left and the right and in front of you for a human, that's your sphere of um, input. So behind you, it could be making noises, and that's why it's easier to creep up on a human because they can't twist their ear to that position where they're actually hearing behind.
What if you have like a good mic array on either side of your head, and so that you then have in ears that transpose like advanced auditory capacity, and so you end up being able to hear,
Subsonic and ultrasonic
well,
noises.
or just even behind you, like really well. Like
Mm,
you actually get like a more sort of volumetric sound. Things are really placed in it or like made to pick out or
mm.
something like that. It's interesting.
We'll even give you positioning data to where the noise is coming from,
Yeah,
pinpoint
something walking up
accuracy.
behind you would sort of highlight that.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Hello, doglet. Hello.
We sort of do that now. Like if we hear something loud behind us, our tendency is to turn towards it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
As humans, like we automatically, as part of the
Want to look at it.
flight and fight response, is that we want to check
Yeah,
it out, see whether it's
yeah, you want to check it
if
out. You
it's
don't
bigger
want
if it's bigger than you are, then you don't want to fight it. You want to run.
to. Yeah, you got to
You
make
know,
some decisions.
mm. And
Is
instantaneous decisions, not just oh,
is
let me
is
weigh the good points and the bad points of this big thing that's trying to kill me.
what do
You
you
know,
think? Do you think looking at it is a good survival instinct,
well, I
or
think
is
that's
the horror factor?
ultimately that's what you know
You don't want to run
in a
away
lot of
from a nothing.
cases.
Yeah, I think
No,
looking at something first
looking
is
at
a good
it
idea.
then identifies it as a thing,
Assessing,
as a
assessing,
thing,
assessing.
and then you
You're
make
like,
an
yeah,
instant assessment on whether or not it's
yeah, get the
there to
fuck.
kill you, or there to
You get
to
the
be
fuck,
friendly.
or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, get the fuck or be fucked.
Hmm. Essentially.
Hmm. Surely there's a middle ground. You pass by each other respectfully.
Hmm.
And you're like, yeah, nah, it's all good. What have you got? I got shells. Oh yeah, I'll swap you a shell for a peanut. Nice.
Elephant no longer has desire to
like
stomp.
like
Sees you as useful rather than non-useful. Hmm.
wow, there's
Creatures
parties
supplied
going
from.
on.
Yeah, you got a party happening.
Well, no, there's multiple. I can hear like parties going on in the neighborhood.
Oh, special occasion. Birthdays.
I don't know. Yeah, weird. Who knows?
Weddings, parties, anything.
Well, yeah, look, hmm, if you want to do small scale, detailed lighting, then what you use is a projector. And you light the area that you want to have lighting effects in with a projector, and you position the square of the projector's display just across the area. Like you're not, it's, it's all swished and straight. Like it's not like a rectangle. It's just so you've got the area filled. And then you just have like the projectors, like basically pixel coordinates being points in the room that you can turn into whatever color you want, and anything that's in between that, which can be interesting in its own right. Yeah, so you can do a lot of really interesting effects with that. I think like using projectors as, like you could project like a sand dune over an environment or point at it or something, or like look like dust is moving, or all sorts of things. Like
Hmm.
I think
Whatever the
projected,
application
like
might be.
yeah, like projected light is really powerful. I actually did some experimentation, like pulling out the LCD layer of monitors,
Yeah.
and then um, seeing what's happened if you put like a different backlight, like getting say like a theater light and just punching a theater light through, and yeah, and then you get some effects. Like if
Hmm.
you've got like like a say a spinning rotor on the screen, like that sort of wop 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 hypnotic thing. You see that effect, like if you cast like a theater light
Project
through that.
through it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have like that thing, and if it was a color, like if you actually had like whatever that thing, like if what you were doing that through was an OLED or whatever,
Well, some
so
people are
that
actually doing that. They're pulling apart monitors and
hmm,
then taking the back, the silvery back off it, and
yeah, and
um,
shining lights through.
shining lights through it, or
Yeah, yeah,
even just
totally, man. That's what I'm
using it
talking
as a
about. Yeah,
transparent LCD display, as a
yeah. I was doing
side
this shit
case for their PC
10 years
chip.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm.
playing around with it.
Ah, fucking doing that shit 10 years ago, mate.
Mm.
what
It
I'm talking
ain't
about.
new. It ain't new.
It ain't new.
That's
I
it.
don't
Ain't
know.
no new thing.
No, that's right. Then, and there ain't no new thing.
How's
Well,
the vape pen going?
um, yeah.
Working?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having to give up smoking.
Hmm.
I've made it like one mistake this week with that.
Over usage or
Yeah,
reverting back?
overusage is quite possible too.
Hmm.
I've explored that. Yeah, having a
Must
smoke break.
recognise the potential for
Not
abuse.
cool.
Mm,
Yeah, not
mm,
cool. Not cool place to go. Not fun. Hurts a bit.
mm.
So don't do that.
Be advised.
Well, fucking very carefully nudge the edge to know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't recommend doing
Know
that.
thy limitations.
Well,
Is that the one? Know thy limitations.
well, I don't know. I tell you what it does show me. It shows me that I don't want to actually feel like this. It's kind of like,
Zoned,
because if I,
so call it, or whatever.
well, I guess, I guess a lot of my story, and I've known this anyway. This is not new to me. It's actually just the first time I've ever been able to experience it.
Mm.
So I'm actually genuinely experiencing something at the moment, which is that the thing that I've always my primary addiction is smoke.
Yeah.
It's not marijuana or
No.
fucking tobacco. It's
It's the
smoke itself.
choking on the smoking.
It's choking myself with smoke. It's choking myself to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm into. Um, and so that now that I've taken that out of the mix entirely, the feeling of being stoned, like obviously I've got a relationship with that, but I've realized it's a bit it's a bit misplaced.
Mm. Mm.
That the amount that I get stoned is actually to do with the amount of times I thought maybe it was the other way around. Like that I was sort of smoking more to get
Asphyxiated.
well, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is. It is. It's actually not about wanting to get stoned.
Mm.
The reason why I smoke more is to
Put thy
try and
body into
asphyxiate myself.
panic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. The
So
desire
I'm
to
now
put thy
really
body,
pondering like when I want to be stoned. When is that?
or when necessary.
Hmm. I think it might be like, is it even when I go to sleep? Maybe. I think it's maybe when I think that's its purpose for me. But
Aiding the
but
sleep
anyway,
cycle. Yeah.
well, anyhow, I think that's it. Like I think it's interesting to disconnect the things properly. I've got like a while to get over. Also, this whole preparation for Mardi Gras,
Mm-hmm.
it means that at least once a week, possibly twice a week, I'm in an environment where there are people fucking smoking cigarettes and like
Yeah.
3 to 5 people smoking cigarettes.
Mm. And your desire to
Oh,
asphyxiate keeps
no.
coming back.
Well, no, like on Friday, like so yesterday, right? So I
Mm.
had to go back. I did workshopping today, and it's all cool. It's just the experience, right? So on Friday, I was so sick from,
Second hand.
I don't, yeah, from nicotine withdrawal.
Mm.
um, I actually had to sleep and stuff. Like I was dysfunctional. I couldn't really work or anything. Like I had to just chill out to deal with the amount of like. So like I can't like to have to go on for this until the 2nd of March. It just feels brutal.
Mm.
It's interesting. I'll make it.
Maybe you should just wear your mask there, wear your filter.
I've thought about it now.
I would, as a fucking
Statement.
statement to say, hey man, go the full HEP filter and just go, no, I'm just tired.
Sick to fuck.
Sick to fuck of breathing in this second hand.
Yeah, and having to go home and have like headaches and shit.
No,
I feel shit.
I'm gonna have to wear this if you guys are gonna behave in that manner. You know.
It's like literally if you had a problem with speed, and I just kept on lacing your drink with a little bit on the top of it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and then you were just getting angry at me about doing that at you.
Wondering why you were staying up all night, you know, unable to sleep.
Yeah, unable to sleep.
Having issues getting to sleep, and I'm wondering why.
Getting hungry, thinking about calling a dealer and shit. Like,
that's it.
For no reason. You're like, I haven't felt like this in years. What's going on?
Constant feeling trying to, that you want to run a marathon or something. Death march through jungles of Kalimantan.
Death march. That fucking. I feel. I don't know. It's another one of those sort of like, moments.
Yeah.
That we've. But yeah, seeing that donkey smoke the marching powder.
Oh yeah, and then go on the psycho run with the cart behind. I mean, you can almost imagine, like we surmised that, at the end of that cart ride, it would have just collapsed and had a heart attack or something.
Died. Yeah, it didn't go on doing that time and time again. Surely not. Can it?
Would have died the first time around. First time it did.
Have to.
Yeah.
It'd have to, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be like the. Not saying this happens all the time, but there's some instances in the racing industry where, the horses have done way well than they should have, and then at the end of the race, just basically dropped dead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Won the race, but then lost the
killed itself.
Lost the life race.
Do you win? Do you win if you die?
Well, from my point of view, it's not the end. I've always been of that view.
No.
Just merely.
I'm talking about the money. I don't give a shit.
When you die,
whether I care about that or not.
That's the next adventure, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
No, but like if you're the racehorse and you win the race,
yeah,
and $100,000 goes to your owner,
yeah,
and then I die as the racehorse, like within, I don't know, what, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, like before the podium, on the podium, receiving the thing around my neck,
and then just collapsing,
dying. Do you still get the $100,000? Or does it get taken back?
I think the race, if it finishes, you get the money. But if you collapse and die, then there's going to be an autopsy, and then if the vet says, "Oh, hang on, there was these extra chemicals in the body," then you would lose the money.
A bit of marching powder.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'd lose the money because it was.
So if you were doped.
Yeah, if you were doped, then you would definitely lose the money.
Okay. Not just because.
No, you'd lose the money because you doped it and it was enhanced.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't that, like if it wasn't that, it was just like.
It's like the weightlifter at the fucking Olympics. If he lives, he's normally a person who lifts, say,
100 kilograms.
500 kilos.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's lifting 1,000 kilos. You'd be asking questions, wouldn't you?
Well,
going, well, hang on.
Yeah, you want to say that you want to see his training montage.
Yeah.
They've got to come out. I think that could be a thing. Imagine like seeing that in professional sort of like those kind of sports, like where you come out and what you've got to have is your training montage.
Well, they should just have a separate thing.
That's
They
you
should
like
have two
running.
Olympics. They should have the
Training
non-enhanced
the
Olympics
montage.
where you just, you do the normal things.
Where you got a
And then the
montage.
ultimately enhanced Olympics, where the weightlifters are allowed to boost. You know what I mean? They're smacking down the steroids and you know what I mean? And then they're lifting, cars and trucks and buses and
And
shit.
we actually start selecting for like subspecies that like are into that. And so that we start making super soldiers, people who are just always jacked.
Mm,
And they make kids who are into being jacked. And they're
that's
like,
right.
Dad's
So,
jacked. I'm
less
fucking jacked.
susceptible to
Dad's
the jacking. That's
dad.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less susceptible to the effects of the jacking.
And they're just these like, this dude, like I was saying, like, I didn't know what to think of this. I'm going to just share it as it is.
Mm.
So I'm sitting on the bus. I go on the bus. And like I have to actually get to this place where I normally would. I couldn't stand. Had to go further back. Stand back. Go back. Let's go back. I just look at this guy. Like sorry, guy. I'm sitting next to you. I'm not going to stand at the back of the bus in the last. It's like you're the last seat. I'm sitting here. So I sit next to this guy, and he's taking up like 2/3 of the back of this. Not the back seat.
He's doing some
but the seat.
manspreading. Doing manspreading.
Not really. Well, he was a little tinsy. His leg was like.
Fully bouncing.
No, it was like twice the width of my leg, like maybe even more than twice. Like I looked over at his leg and I
It
realized
was more a tree trunk than a leg.
it was a trunk.
Mm.
Like I was gobsmacked. I seriously, it took actual self-control not to turn
Beefcake.
around to this guy and say, how? Look at my leg. How is your leg? Like
That
I
big.
just wanted to actually,
Yeah.
like it took total self-control.
That's the
I think he would have
roids
dealt
in it.
with it.
It's the roids.
He would have.
It'd be the
I don't know
roids.
I don't know what it was, man. Like I was mind blown.
You'd be
I
roiding.
felt like a stick. I felt like a. Well, I was like, wow, what the fuck? That is immense.
He'd be close to the man whose arms exploded. That was such a great movie. That I don't know if you've ever seen it. There is a movie
But I
that
don't know, like
plays after midnight.
like footballers and shit.
Man whose arms exploded.
Like maybe it's a football. Did they actually explode? Is that part of the film?
Yeah, well, they did. They did actually explode. The muscles became too big for the casing,
gosh.
and
Yeah.
yeah, he had skin tearing and muscle explosion. So he kept going. It just didn't phase him. He got stitched up and back into it until he.
Even though he exploded.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain level of addiction to the muscle man
I liked
thing.
it.
It's like any addiction, go that you get to that point where it's, doing you good, and that's where you're not overusing or you're not over stressing your body, and then there's that point where you go beyond it and put major stress on your body, pushing the envelope.
Wow. Wow. Such stresses.
Mm. The things we put ourselves through to get to the desired position of where we feel comfortable.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at the current trend of the silicon, for
Like,
example. You know what I mean? Like big lips.
if we could do like
giant lips.
If we kind of
sunken cheeks, extended
increase like
cheekbones.
elastin levels, like and so that the body stays my body's elastin levels stay higher, or telomere breakdowns lower. That's cool. But I think to like put like a lump in there, or paralyze part of my face
So
and
I
stitch it up
yeah, get rid of the
so it looks
wrinkles.
swollen, then that's gonna that isn't that what we're not that is not my body being more beautiful.
What they got a
Am I able
word
to
for it, isn't it? Dysmorphia or body
may as
dysmorphia?
well just start sending around. I should just send in front of me. I should be in a little black box, and I just put like a wax sculpture, like a sculpture of myself as I once was, or
Mm-hmm.
how I imagine myself to be. Just put like that there. It's the early avatar.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, in a lot of body modification stuff, I mean, it's I don't know. You get to that. It'd be like tattoos, I guess. You know what I mean? From that point of view, like you get one or two tattoos. Some people are just satisfied with a couple of tattoos, and then there's other people that get addicted to the needle and the pain, and they get the whole bodies covered in tattoos. You know what I mean? Like they push past that the not the what would you say? It'd be the push past the what you feel is comfortable into that land of uncomfortableness and then get the pain pleasure response from the you know continuous tattooing.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I've done it in ceremony.
Hmm.
Like and I can see how you could like just do
Because
it for
some people
willy
will call it
nilly.
the tough sticker, and the thing is that like
Yeah.
they get tattoos and then they get tattoos over top of tattoos. You know what I mean? Rather than just coloring in the space that's available, they re-tattoo over top of tattoos.
I tell you what I tell you what when you get a tattoo, it's like where you know you've like
Well, every time I've got a
like your
tattoo, I've
family
always had to
falls
do it
apart.
empty. Like I couldn't
Mm.
eat before I got a tattoo. So any tattoo I've got on my body, I've always done it on an empty stomach,
Well,
even though they
yeah, but
advise against it. But for me, like once I reach that pain threshold level, then I have to have a spit. You know what I mean?
where
Like
your
it's
body's vibrating that much, you just sort of
that
like
it just goes,
trip on it
no,
for a
you got
bit.
to have a spit, and I know I'm going to have a spit, so
Yeah,
I don't eat, so that when I do have
yeah.
a spit, there's nothing coming out. But then I've gotten past that point, and then I've gone, right, okay, now I'm fine because I'm now past that point. Continue cutting the flesh. But the
The
last couple I've
flesh.
had, like it didn't even hurt. Like it got to that point where it didn't even hurt anymore. It was just a meh. So like getting your teeth done.
Oh,
Because you initially when you get your teeth done or you get your teeth worked on,
mm,
get that
yeah.
get up to that certain pain threshold, and you're like, no, 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 I can't handle anymore. That's enough. You know what I mean? Whereas once you've had it done enough, then the threshold increases each time. So that once you get to that point, you're like, your body's already used to it. So therefore, it doesn't react as badly to the same injury or pain level.
Yeah, okay. So it's just holding itself at like a heightened level.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it knows what it's
So it doesn't have
expecting
as
because of the
far to
previous
go.
injuries.
It's
It sort of
already
knows what
tripping.
it's expecting. So
It's already
once,
got a pre-trip.
yeah,
Yeah. So it like protects, it like steps in prior to the full impact and then like deadens, like keeps it further away from you.
yeah, raises
Builds
the
a little
bar,
protective,
as they say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, builds a little
Mm,
protective layer.
mm.
Let it expands and out till it's just like a giant whale. Peter Griffin. The insecure.
Peter the Griffin.
Yeah, he's just like, but in that special way, like doesn't even know. Like it's just like a lovely guy. Like thinks he's a lovely guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not actually like is there very there's occasional moments where in a comic way they present him doing like a sort of a being the bad guy, like a mean sort of look. But mostly he's not. I don't think he's like a malicious character, is he?
No, no.
No.
He's an insensitive character, but he's not
Yeah,
malicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not malicious. No.
No. Definitely insensitive with Lois.
Oh,
The Rose Garden episode was always my favourite. Lois's Rose Garden. For everyone she's been with, she plants a rose. And it's like
oh,
Lois. You haven't seen the Lois's Rose Garden episode?
maybe I have, but anyway,
Oh,
maybe not. Yeah.
because when he goes to visit the rose garden, it's like acreage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's actually an acre of roses, or 2 acres, or 10 acres of roses.
Of the, of the men she's been with, it's
Yeah,
just like this.
prior to
Yeah, right.
Peter. That's right.
Uh,
He thought she was all innocent, but then finds out the sordid past of her
oh, really?
porno
Yeah,
career.
this
That's right.
apparently this like really can upset some men.
Mm,
Like finding out that the woman that they think's really
mm,
hot and cool
yeah,
has banged like 20 guys and been out on
yeah.
100 dates, you know.
That's it. Thousand cock
Really
stare.
could, yeah, that's just, yeah, you're all right. Yeah, good. I like the way you did that little thing.
Mm,
It's like compared to who? Oh, I don't know.
that's it.
Yeah,
Like the first time.
yeah, you're better than most. Better than, so it's okay. I can say I can enjoy it.
I stick around because you do the things I like.
I can enjoy that. I can
Mm.
enjoy it. You know.
It was just a phase, Peter. I just went through a phase. Now I found Christianity again, and I'm ready to settle down. With my three
All
three
right.
three multicolored children that I've had from previous relationships. But I found God, and I need someone to step up who's at least 6 foot
Yeah, you
to
gotta step up.
you got to
At
step
least
up.
six.
At least 6 foot,
Step up.
six
Yeah,
six
stepping
two.
up.
Was preferable. Six
Yeah,
two was preferable.
some real, some
Owning
really. Oh,
and
yeah,
able to look after other people's children.
yeah.
I mean, that takes a real man to do that.
Yeah, that.
Step in and be the stepdad of the multicolored family.
I try. I realize my goal in life, my role in life is providing a good white understanding of the world to these children. It's been a blessing.
Mm.
They'll be able to be bridges, to
Building
that,
bridges. That's it.
bridges to these other cultures. Through my children, I hope to build bridges to the
Mm, mm.
Hispanic, African,
Why have one race when you can include them all?
and indeterminate Inuit. Awaiting DNA verification.
It's like that old joke. There was a joke going around that one stage, a meme, where it's amazing that when you get the snip, how it changes the color of the child that you're having. You know, once you've had the snip, it's amazing that, you know,
What?
it can cause color change in your offspring.
No. Is there
I didn't realize that when you got the snip that it can actually change the color of your offspring.
makes you extra pink or something, does it?
Extra melanin.
Yeah, the
Adds extra
less melanin.
No,
Like is it
more
less
melanin. It ends up, you know,
more?
if you're one of those types with less melanin, then getting the
Yeah.
snip will actually increase the chance of having more melanin for your offspring.
Oh, really?
Mm.
So many generations of snipping could return you to sort of like peak sort of, you know, skinned performance. In which case you not need to do that anymore.
Mm. Mm.
Because you'd be like a supreme.
I think it's best that, you know, if you've got a partner and you've had no success in having offspring, then certainly pick someone of the same hue and melanin level as your current partner, so that there's less questions asked. And the necessity for what is it, the verification of offspring's I'm trying to use the right words without being, you know, politically incorrect about it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
if you're
it's
gonna
still
have an
listening.
affair, at least have an affair with someone of the same, you know, the same melanin level as your partner,
Oh,
and perhaps a similar look, and you know, so that there's no doubt, there isn't any
yeah,
confusion or doubt
right,
over
right.
the, you know,
So
the
you should stay in the lane. Like if you're gonna cheat with somebody,
at least cheat
then
with someone who's got the
yeah, yeah,
same melanin
yeah.
as your partner, so that then
Yeah, it was like when
there
I
isn't any doubt, so that, you know, when your Caucasian husband's standing there looking at the birth, and then it comes out, say,
like when a partner of mine
additional
confronted me with
melanin,
my
that there's no questioning of who was the who's your daddy.
Look at a partner who confronted me when they found my flashlight,
Hmm.
and they were pissed off about it, and they were like, "At least it's not at least it wasn't an anus. I'm glad it was a vagina."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I see." As if like I had
It's
like a
much better when it's just a mouth. It's because, yeah, there's
so
less.
indiscriminate,
Yeah, and just
indiscriminate.
mouth seems to be less
The mouth,
offensive, you know, as a
the mouse for
fleshlight.
everybody.
Mouse
It's
for
in
everybody.
everybody.
That's right.
The mouse for everybody can join in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a tourist. It's the tourist location. Math tourism.
So what is it? 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
How you going? You all right?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Aaron on.
You haven't finished my second drink yet.
Oh, nice.
I'm sort of I'm pacing.
I'm on my third
I mean,
now.
if I had,
I'm on
I'd
my
be pretty tanked.
third cider now. Almost finished. Almost ready for the fourth.
Wow. And I'm just like massaging sort of stretching my leg out.
I bought them
Like really
Wednesday, so
thinking through.
I've had to save a couple just for the cheap innings.
Saving
Yeah.
the couple.
Not
Yeah.
overindulging, but saving for the cheap innings.
The leg.
Leg. Tree trunk legs.
Wow, it was amazing. Like I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. I can just describe it how it is. Like I felt like if I sort of said anything, as if I was going to be like a fangirl, like, oh my God, your legs are so big. You know what I mean? Like it was just
Mm-hmm.
the weirdest because it was just so freaky
Mm.
to make comment on it. I mean, that said, I met a girl in the fitness shop where I get my keto shakes,
Mm.
you know. I'm living the lifestyle, bro. I
Yeah.
got fucking $8 keto shakes.
Yeah.
And this woman, she had more facial hair than I.
Oh, okay.
And I don't mean like, I mean like she had more leg hair than me. She was like,
Buff.
her
He
muscle.
was buffed.
Holy crap. It was so cool. I don't know what I felt about it or if I felt like I wanted to be with people who like, or I wanted to know what that felt like or against my skin or something.
She took
I have no idea.
tomboy to a whole new level.
It was impressive, hey. I
Mm.
was like, holy crap. You've done something.
You're a unit.
You're a fucking unit.
You're a block of flaps.
Yeah. Uh, I'm pretty sure this person could have like shown some humor, like facial expressions, but facial expressions become a little difficult. It's like they lose like fine muscle control or something. Has that happened? Like they become so
Possibly
muscled
from the
that their face muscles
over
become
muscling.
limited.
Yeah. Possibly.
That even their faces are like,
I know if you've been on the roids for some time and then you stop, there is a like a leakage thing that happens.
oh,
Yeah, because I knew a guy that was fully into bodybuilding, and when he stopped using the roids, he had this
yeah.
yellow fluid or yellow liquid that was being emitted from the muscle and through the skin
Oh,
afterwards, until he sort of
yellow.
shrunk back to his original size.
Yellow.
Yeah, yeah, like a
eh,
yellow liquidy, greasy sort of oily substance was coming out of his skin.
out of his skin
Mm, mm. Like he could sort of,
in areas like as he
yeah,
was
take a
shedding
credit
or
card
some
and sort of
shit.
drag it across his muscles, and then it would have this
Oh,
yellow goo on it.
it was squeezing out of him.
You'd
The
often comment about it. He's
poison.
like, oh, since I stopped the roids, I've got this sort of yellow discharge from my
Oh,
muscles.
wow.
Things we do to look good, eh?
Well, what I've been thinking about confronting myself with,
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm ready to deal with this. It sounds stupid, and like, considering all the other things I'm willing to accept.
Hmm.
The dog is doing something busy downstairs. Um, so okay, I live on the top of a hill.
Yep.
So the first time I like looked down that hill, I was like, "Fuck!" So I have to walk up this hill, and so it was
It would have
real
been
difficult.
would
I
have been
felt like
like
my
Bloodbath Hill,
like Bloodbath Hill.
walking up the
Yeah,
hill
yeah.
at Bloodbath's house.
Longer, but like longer, but
Oh, okay.
same,
Yeah.
same but longer.
Similar incline.
Yep, not heaps longer, not like ridic, but a bit longer. Definitely a bit longer.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, good analogy. And so you're like the first time you're confronted with it, you're like, oh fuck, and you walk up that thing,
Seems
and it's a bit of a
daunting.
beast.
That's right.
It is daunting. Like you actually struggle, and then as you keep doing it, it becomes easier, and then you like can just do it, And it still like takes energy, but you can do it.
Yeah.
And kind of realizing I got to this point in my exercising or ability to exercise, move my body, that at any point in time, like right now, if someone said to me, "Hey, we need to go," I could put some shoes on and just go for a 2 hour walk, 3 hour walk, maybe a 4 hour walk. I don't even know. I could walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really, like I can do that. I don't think, and I can sort of do that and maintain it. Like I don't think, I sort of realize that the only way to go gain more benefit from it would be to go quicker. There's no other sort of way. And then thinking about like thinking it through, oh, that would mean I have to jog or something or move quicker somehow. And then I think about the hill, right? Like or like the first time, we go even beyond the hill. The first time I walked from where I am up the peninsula, the South Heads,
Mm.
I was like, I didn't make it anywhere near there. That took me a month or two
To
to,
get
I
to
don't
get
even
up
know.
to the
Yeah, maybe a month to
yeah.
get all the way up. Each day walking further, I was exhausted.
Mm.
You know, so in the same way as that's true, me then jogging everywhere and that being really hard at first and me not getting very far would be the same thing. And then if I continue doing that and then a month or two, like just jogging to, the kids and back or something would be just normal, not if it just be a normal thing, like, as opposed to a hard thing.
Yeah.
Like that would then be the normal thing to do. But that's a hell of my brain is having a little trip out because it's like never experienced the body, a body of Psy that's capable of doing that. It feels like improbable.
Oh,
Like the walking,
getting past what your mind's limitations are.
or perception
Mm.
of itself.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't believe that that's actually a thing that it could do, but it totally is. Like in a month's time, I could be jogging to Redfern.
And back.
Well, I don't walk there and back, so
Mm.
I can. I could, but it just gets too long. But I could jog. And if a walk's 2 hours, let's say if I start off and a jog is like an hour and a half.
Mm. You get that down to an hour.
Mm. Mm.
Pretty much half the walking.
That's it. And that's your radius. Meet someone. I'll meet you in the city. Oh yeah, I'll see you there in an hour.
Mm.
Just jog in. You're in there in 40 minutes. About the same time as a car.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to stop and start at lights, do you?
No,
Don't have to deal with
all of it.
traffic.
Oh,
Yeah.
going at 10, 20, 5.
Chugging.
Waiting. Mm. Like I think, like if I could get up to like 10 Ks, I don't know, 9 to 10 Ks an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Anyway,
Happy
yes,
with
that's
that.
that. I got well. I don't know. I've been thinking. I'm looking down the barrel. It's like the next walk I do to anywhere, I should just start jogging. When I get tired, just stop, just start walking. And when if I feel tired, just start jogging again. When I get tired, and then the next time I do the walk, try more until I can just like do it the whole way. Surely that's how you do it.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I do it. That's how I did it the other to
Aggressively.
like.
Yeah.
So I got up the hill. That's how I walked to the headlands. That's how I can just walk now to like. I can just walk to like Coogee.
Well, you remember in the early days, I was walking from Toowong,
Oh man, that's it, man.
Taringa,
We used to walk everywhere, man.
all the way over to Paddington and back.
We've walked to Danny's.
Yeah.
Have you? Were you? Yeah. Did we do the walk together? Was it you and me from Mitchelton, and we walked the
Possibly.
whole way?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Met up with you. I'd walked from Taringa or whatever it was,
No,
or
no, no,
Toowong,
no,
or
no.
when
When we
we're.
were living at Mitchelton together,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
over the Dans up in the hills. No, when I've walked to Dan's like the whole way out
Hmm.
to wherever it was.
Paddo.
But no, no, whatever east, west, north lakes or whatever the fuck. Like,
North Lakes.
no,
That's
I
a
don't
hell of a
know.
walk.
No, his house, like where he lived, like wherever it was. I can't remember
Eaton's
now.
Hill.
Eaton's Hill.
Yeah.
Eaton's Hill.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've walked from Mitchelton to Eaton's Hill.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a hell of a walk, but it's definitely good
You,
value.
you don't remember doing it?
Oh, a lot of times, when we were doing that stuff, I was, you know, well high.
Yeah, just
That's why the
just
that's where the
roaming
walk that's where the walk was so much easier.
roaming the
When you when
countryside
you
like
when you're
some wizard.
chemically inspired, it makes it a whole lot easier. Brief pausing while lessenings.
The lessenings. What should I do? Should I have a mornings? The mornings. Is it really morning? Is it what kind of morning is it? To have a zero sugar wild turkey.
Never really got that. Like I got good day, but I never really got good mornings. Like
Top of the morning.
like what are we mourning? Oh, good morning. Much
Good
suffering.
morning. Much suffering. Yeah. Did you make it through the night without anything to eat, dear?
Mm,
Did
Did
you
you wake? Did
suffer?
you wake hungry?
Oh, I was
Did you wake
concerned.
hungry?
I was concerned there'd be
Something to
no
mourn
meat.
about. That's the reason why you have a
That's
good
okay. The
mornings in the
grains have
morning.
been provided by the gods. The gods who taught
The
the person
gods
who
that
had a
every day of the week is named after.
no, they just had like
Moon
this
Day,
had
Tuesday, Woden's
oh,
Day, Thor's Day, Freya's Day, Saturn's Day, Sun's Day.
yeah. And Japanese, it's like it's the moon. And fire, car, that kind of thing. Earth
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
mm.
Based on the elements for the Japanese.
Yeah, elemental things and
Hmm.
but Sunday and
And then
Moon
each
Day and
month is another god.
Nichiobi, Kyobi, so the things are different. A tree, and water, Tsuyobi, uh, and then Earth, Ryobi, which is Saturday. Kinyobi, so it's like Friday, which is the money day.
Yep.
Like it's when you get paid.
Hmm.
Gold day,
I get paid on
essentially, or
Woden's Day.
Word day,
Woden's Day.
which is Suyobi, water.
You'll be paid by the water.
So water just flows past you, whoosh, rushes out.
Chops off its flotsam and jetsam, which is
Mm.
my pay.
Have you have you managed to control like the sort of ambient drainage on that behalf?
Sorta, kinda.
Of
I'm
mm,
getting better. Let's put it that way. It's lasting
mm.
longer.
That's
I'm
good.
getting better at stretching the flotsam and the jetsam out.
Well, and also getting buy-in.
Mm.
It's always like if you can get buy-in from the people who are having to experience your sort of regime. Like if you can get your kids to sort of understand why you're living that way,
Yeah.
whatever that way is.
Yeah, well, Youngling is perfectly aware of why the situation it is the way it is at the moment, so I try not to hide too much. I let them know. I mean,
Yeah.
you get parents who are like, "Oh, don't tell them about your financial issues," and I'm like,
Yeah, no.
I mean, they're gonna learn about it either way. They're gonna learn about it
Yeah, I
the
mean,
hard
well,
way when they get out in the real world and have to fucking fork out all their
it's also
facilitator
just that
to do what they need to do.
it,
You know, better them seeing examples of the struggles with facilitation.
of this the facilitation troubles.
Mm.
Uh,
Better them to know that there is troubles with the way that it's facilitated, and
yeah, it's best.
so there's
Try
no you know rose-colored glasses view on how the world works.
try
Yeah,
and suggest alt ways.
yeah. It'd be much easier for me if I wasn't spending, $200 in facilitation to to buy food per week. I just buy a 10-pound bag of rice and some fucking tuna cans. You know what I mean? You can just eat
I do
that
know what you mean.
rice and tuna.
Yeah, I'd have tuna with lettuce.
Staple diet, and every now and again you get the. I've worked a shit ton of overtime, so we
Or
can
mayonnaise,
enjoy
especially with
some
mayonnaise.
bovine cuts of
Oh, I thought you were
bovine.
just going to put mayonnaise with the tuna.
Mm,
Or is that a given, like the mayonnaise?
yeah,
Do they make your own?
soy and mayonnaise. Always a
Yeah,
tuna and rice thing.
tuna rice. Soy oil and egg.
I joke about it at work and calling it cat food. Rice and fish.
Kibble.
Yeah, kibble.
Uh,
Enjoy my fucking kibble.
yeah, it's a good
Work
kibble.
my ass
Rice and
off,
fish.
and all I can enjoy
Get
is
your rice
fucking
and
cat
fish.
food at the end of the fucking week.
Rice and fish. Special meal. I have a special meal of rice and fish. Really get your cat going. Yeah, so we did like this podcast, right?
Hmm.
This podcast with
Yeah, tell
someone.
me more.
Well, they asked me some questions and shit. So I interviewed. It was an interview. So I answered the questions. And then they spoke to me. Well, they messaged. They said, "Hey, just to let you know, like I've listened to it a couple of times, and I'm only gonna like do the first half. Like there's like the second half. The answers like they didn't say anything specific. They just said the second half was not like doesn't fit the themes of my show."
Mm-hmm. It went
And I sort
outside
of
the boundaries of what they specified.
my answers.
I mean, our real talk is cheap. There is no boundary.
Yeah, I know they
That's it.
experienced it.
That's the beauty of our talk is cheap. Is there is no boundary to what we talk about. Talk about anything and everything.
I know, it's boundaryless conversation. So I did that in the interview and tripped them out. It was interesting watching them trip out as I was doing that in their interview
Yeah.
and answering the question. So they had like the Nick Cave. You know how Nick Cave did the letter?
Oh, the bad seeds. Yep.
Yeah, of that the AI letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What do you?" They thought that I'd have an interesting opinion as a writer or creative about Nick Cave's like, AI is going to make us, we'll try and be valueless. We'll try and stay value with for as long as we can. And I just, as soon as she started talking about Nick Cave's letter, open letter,
Mm.
about AI, I just was like,
What do you mean? You have value. And AI is just at this stage, it's purely a mechanism. It's not going to.
I just thought it was this ego wank.
Mm.
Just the look on her face was so funny. The interviewer, I called Nick Cave ego wanking.
Yeah.
Public letter, but
Fragile. Fucking fragile.
fragile.
Yeah.
Fragile.
Grow a pair.
And then
Yeah.
they sort of like went on to say, "Well, did you know that it was about this and that?" And like the AI and like speak, doing a song like his, like mimicking him.
Hmm.
I was like, "Does Nick Cave have children?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I think he's got two."
Hmm.
Was I said to Nick Cave, like when his children like,
Grow
I
up and
said,
copy
"Daddy,
his
Daddy,
style, you know.
Daddy, Daddy, I just
So
made
you're
a
gonna
little
suddenly
song."
get offended and
Did he
go
start
off.
like yelling at them?
Hmm.
Oh, you stupid child! Stop like making songs. Like I make songs. What's fucking wrong with you?
Hmm.
Yeah, I said to them, do you think that? Do you think that Nick Cave abuses his children?
Or would he promote and try and enhance them?
Enhance his
Support
children
them. Yeah.
to make even better versions of him.
That's it.
Mm.
Continue on his
So
style.
I think Nick Cave should be like teaching AI, not bullying them.
Yeah, creating his own Nick Cave AI.
Mm.
Something that he has proprietary over.
Start making songs with them. Have like co-authorship. Lives on forever. 1,000 years.
Bang.
Nick
Still
Cave
making
forever.
music.
That's
Still
it.
making music 1,000 years in the future.
Like so you like work out before he dies. Works out like some sort of like foundation. It's like the foundation of like I don't know, whatever the Nick Cave, like feeling depressed or looking at it, like smoking cigarettes. Whatever his Nick thing is, I don't know.
Whoever he
Rainy
gets
days.
his inspiration from.
Whatever foundation Nick Cave wants to start. The Rainy Day Foundation. The people can take a day off and have just enjoy rainy days. So yeah, thousands of years in the future, you're subscribing to like the rainy day cult of Nick Cave.
Yep.
Runs the lifestyle of the AI. Taking off whole in personality. Does talk show like presentations. Was considered like the eminent sort of like scholar on Nick Cave works.
Well, it was trained by him. Took his data set and enhanced on it.
That's it. Great grandchildren like really grateful. That it frees us from actually having to like live the legacy of
That's right.
the cave. We've been able to branch out and become lakes and rivers.
The cave AI has allowed us to pursue our own desires,
geological features,
rather than to propagate the father's selfishness.
Yeah. Because a few generations, we've managed to no longer be depressed.
Yeah, it went through that whole phase,
Oh, no,
500
like
years of depression and 500 years of exhilaration.
Ah, the metahuman.
500 years of emotion. That's it. Each different emotion looked at, analyzed, and portrayed as music.
That's a story. Multi-generational.
Lessening the burden for the modern offspring, allowing them to take their own paths.
Yeah, I mean,
and still benefit from
still
benefit from the
people like get awoke and shit. You need to really consider that in many countries, I don't know, their great grandparents or their great great grandparents, 4 generations ago,
started this
probably saw like
foundation. Started
beheadings.
this foundation. Yeah.
Well, not even no, like even 3 generations ago, like we're seeing like mutilations and like just people being blown apart in front of their faces in wars. You know, like it's not too many generations ago. Or just the Sunday hanging. You know,
Everyone comes around
oh,
for
do we
the
have to go?
ye old laddery lean disemboweling, so the
I said, do
crowd
we have
can
to go
see
and see
it.
the
You know.
disemboweling this weekend? Oh, Jesus would be very upset. God's watching. If we don't go see the disemboweling,
Bear witness
it'll be
to it.
you up there next
Yeah,
week, Jimmy.
that's it. You'll be volunteered as the offering
Yep.
to appease the masses.
Let's go watch. Stop throwing peas, though. They're worth money.
Ain't got no time for stonings. He's sick again.
Wow.
True.
He is sick again.
Coming up to the 3-hour mark. I think we've done well again. Our chats have started off a bit horsey. But progressed in some interesting things.
I think it started as that. I mean, the horse stuff was pretty interesting. Don't get me wrong, man. Like,
no. I mean,
it's funny as fucking whack, man.
The Bash has definitely given us some commentary.
We don't. As I say, I'm here. I'll offer, $2-3 a month
To punch yourself in the face. Live punching yourself
to
in
see
the face.
Bash mutilate themselves to look like a horse.
To make that ultimate progression. Follow your dream. Follow the dream.
Like, just be made out with a horse Bash. I mean, it really sets the tone for where we're up to.
Yeah.
No. And what I've said to my younglings, like, yeah, no, to porn, because I don't know. Look, I mean, they say that. I don't know what someone shows them. It sends them as a message.
Well, they're all going to make their own path, aren't they?
Mm.
We made our path. We created the path that's put us to where we are now.
Dude, your path did not contain memes of five black guys and no. I can't remember a name.
Delicate white thing sitting on the couch, getting destroyed.
They just didn't have that in it.
No.
They didn't have like page one of like. You know what I was thinking about this morning?
I mean, my early exposure to that was the magazines that I stole from underneath my dad's
like
bed.
A photo, a fucking photo, right?
Yeah.
From some girl's tits. It's a whole world different. You know how the front pages of, say, Pornhub or wherever have a lot of, like, say, incest porn?
Oh, it's just prolific amounts of incest porn.
So this morning I was thinking about that. I thought, what for? Oh, because one of the main demographics that they're accessing would be the 14 to 16-year-old market. And where that makes sense to the kid. like their stepmummy or stepdaddy are like doing something weird, or they're
Yeah.
doing something to their sister, like the stepsister, like, and there's so many broken families. Like, you can almost see how, like, the reason why it isn't because there's a whole bunch of old dudes with pedophilia desires to sleep with 15-year-old kids.
No.
It's
No.
because 15-year-old kids are the target market of the porn.
Justification for what the evils that have been thrust upon them, and what they've
And so to
grown
make
up,
it like
what they've grown up with.
psychologically manageable,
Yeah.
they provide appropriate 15-year-age porn, which is like sleeping with his stepsister.
Mm. Mm.
Or you can relate to it. You mightn't even have a stepsister. And you're like, oh, I wouldn't sleep with my sister. That's disgusting. But if I had a stepsister, oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you'd be
do
banging
that,
it
wouldn't
down,
matter,
wouldn't you?
you know? And then you get this porn, which is then like the fake 15-year-old. Because it's for a real 15-year-old.
Mm.
Not a 60-year-old.
No.
Like jacking
No,
off to it.
they're checking out the horse porn.
Mm,
60-year-olds are
That's
checking
right.
out the horse porn.
That's right, man. They're up there with Vash.
Mm.
They're
So
vying.
they're
battling for
cheering in the
position.
background for Vash to get the conversion.
Main supporters, they're like super chats.
Yeah. Pushing that socialistic perversion.
What? Why did you say pushing a socialistic perversion? Why did you slip that in there?
I don't know. It
you
just
don't
dropped.
even
Come
you
on.
don't know.
Yeah, because Vash is a
Oh, that's
socialist.
bullshit.
That's the only reason. Communist socialist.
Why has Vash's, like, I don't know, worker division of labor belief system
Mm.
got to do with him wanting to fuck horses?
I have no idea, Si. No idea.
So then is there?
But
There's no need.
what would, I mean, for
Do you think capitalists don't want to fuck horses?
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure
I think there's
capitalists could
more.
afford to do it, whereas
That's
the
right.
socialists probably couldn't.
Well,
Capitalists would definitely have the means and the you know the facilitation
no.
behind them to be able to afford to do that.
Capitalists would make sure that it costs money to fuck a horse. With socialists, horse fucking is available to everybody. You know. That was bad.
Well said, Si. Well said.
I don't know who. The capitalists protecting us from.
Only the best horses need to play under the capitalist system.
That's right.
Shit, only the finest horses.
Finest.
The well-bred stallions.
That's it. Cleansed, nipped, tucked. Mm-hmm. An elegant-looking arrangement.
Gelded from a young age.
Fit for a modern queen.
That's it. Gelded from a young age.
Marching powder put upon.
Mm-hmm. Till heart explodes.
Gelded. But then marching powder.
All cock, no balls.
Oh my god. The horse is just. The horse is the real victim in this situation.
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think we need to be asking the horse's opinion, if you ask me.
I think so.
If only it could talk. Mr. Ed!
It could get weird. Like, if you can talk, and then you can sort of actually like share your intentions through buttons and things. And it's like, are you for real? You're like, yeah, I'm for real. And it's like, oh, No, I get urges.
I
I'll give you a
could see
go.
the horse tapping on the,
Tap him. The horse
That's
having a tap.
it. Ba-ding!
Get a few notches on the stable.
Notches on the stable gate.
Yeah, I think so.
Puts its head down on the hay at night. Look up and count the notches.
Practices doing a wink for each one. Oh, that was a blink. Oh, that was a wink. And humans can do that wink real easy. Practice a good old winking.
Odds are good. Odds are very good.
How long? Like, could you start being a horse? If like, what if you started as a pony?
And worked your way up.
So you didn't have to have like the full leg extensions on your arms and stuff. You could sort of start out with a little bit of a skin, like a bone graft.
Yeah.
And like maybe like just 20-30% taller. So you sort of like
progressive conversion.
So start off as like a Shetland. And just be like little mules and things. You don't get a full like sort of thoroughbred.
No. And then work your way up to draft horse.
Do you reckon a human could really make it to being a draft horse?
I think if you put your mind to it, it could be possible.
Okay. No, fair enough. It seems difficult, but I mean, you'd have thick legs. You'd have a lot of roids. There'd be a lot of yellow pus coming out of you.
Yeah.
Later on.
You'd definitely be scraping it with as many credit cards as you could.
Oh, other people's credit cards too.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just keep paying for like the sort of different things
like
necessary
a credit card rake,
purposes.
just raking it in.
Quite trippy. These kinds of things are happening. This is the real people of the world today. They're walking down the street. You know, there used to be the old
imagining
thing,
those conversions. Imagining being the stallion.
Imagining. It was like imagining, like, say, the person who works at the bank, like the bank manager, having a Prince Albert. Yeah?
Yeah. And nipple
now,
clamps.
It actually has nipple like pierced nipples when it comes to working with the bank manager. So it's like leveling that up. And where it becomes like normality. It's
That's
like,
right. Well scarred and well branded.
Now to be a bank manager, you need to go beyond having nipple clamps. You need to have someone else in nipple clamps. Or a pet donkey. Like you've at least got to be at donkey status. You're not a thoroughbred. Classy people with monetary, like they're like sort of old wealth.
Well, the thoroughbreds would be the merchant bankers, wouldn't they? You know, your standard banker would only need a mule level, but then you get up to merchant banker, and then after that, you know, to get to draft horse level, you'd need to be, you know, world banker kind of status. Get to draft horse, world banker.
Just what? Hang on. What?
So it would be like the status level of the.
I know. I get what you're saying. I'm
Mm,
getting it.
mm,
Like that, you can take a draft horse
that's it.
means that you're a world banker.
That's right.
Hmm.
Mm. You're the kind of guy that can rent out the top floor of the, somewhere in a Vegas hotel and then have, 100 street whores come through with the giant balances just ready to service you.
Of like it's increasing sizes.
Mm. Start off
The
small and then
preparation.
making their way up to the draft horse size.
There's sort of like like they're dripping the fountain of like oil, just slowly drizzling down,
That's it.
like of
Chocolate
lubricant.
oil fountain.
Mm.
I can envision it. Heard stories. I'm sure it's out there.
Is that what decadence was? It was decadence, like sitting there, like without eating some sort of figs or, eyeballs of fallen.
Mm.
Just bring me the eyeballs of the captives, lick them one by one. I'll get the memories.
Visionary.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we'll watch them. We'll like pile their eyeballs up, just here on next to us as we eat grapes.
Mm.
And then we keep their priestesses, and they'll just be like, being assaulted by the 10 different sort of animals and 4 chieftains in front of us for the evening's pleasure.
Mm-hmm. For our entertainment.
Until dying. That'll be the night's entertainment. That'll be quite normal. It'll be kind of like, oh, last night.
Mm.
That level of grotesquerie. I wonder what the pleasure in what it was. It was sort of like, where is it the power and control? People would say it normally would be.
I guess, and it's that, the power of that facilitator, will make people do things that they normally wouldn't do.
No choice, like not optional. That's just going to be your role, is just to sort of allow me to witness an experience. So I'm just going to watch like 10 of you.
That's it. My enjoyment
tonight.
comes from the suffering of watching you.
Yeah. 10 of your finest, just be like.
It sort of almost takes you to that point where, I don't know, there was a movie that I watched. I'm trying to remember the name of it. There was this, like, a couple, right? And they were both drug addicts. And to get their fix, the girl in the pair had to go to these parties and, like sex parties, and be part of this, orgy thing that was going on. That's how she made her money, so that the two of them could get high.
Yeah, it's called
Requiem for a Dream. That's the one.
That's fucking
Requiem
crazy
for a
film,
Dream.
mate.
But
I have the
that
film.
scene
I have
there where the two girls are, bouncing, and then she's just got that look on her face, that mortified look. And that's what they were there for. They were there for the mortification and the belittlement.
Where you wake up in the middle of it.
Suddenly
Realize what you're doing.
What the fuck am I doing with my life? Yeah, it was a bit of a heavy movie, but it certainly
Oh man,
put the point across, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
what are you willing to sacrifice to get the things that you want? You know, are you willing to go that far?
Well, yeah, I think people are.
Well, people every day, mate.
People every day.
Mm.
I snort the coke
Off the dead hooker's
off the
chest.
toilet seat.
Yeah,
Well, off the toilet seat at
that's
work.
it. Eating the gum off the gum wall. You know,
Wondering
sure.
they don't really have enough money to get through to tomorrow's hit. But maybe if they like sort of favor for you know,
Bending over backwards to kiss the Blarney Stone.
for Antonio.
Yeah.
Maybe. Antonio might be up for that time. It'd be so bad. Antonio looks all right. Keep it going. And you'll get the win tomorrow.
There's always
And you'll be able to
tomorrow.
pay that. You'll be able to pay the money back and get your dignity back by paying for the thing.
Put you in the position where you never have to do that again.
No, next time you'll have to do something way more degrading.
That's right. The indecent proposal. You know? The millionaire offers you $1 million to sleep with your wife.
That's the least degrading thing you'll have to do.
But after that, you'll be rich and you'll never have to worry about money again.
Well,
until it all falls over, and then you suddenly realise that
what's your wife like?
yeah, money changes everything, doesn't
it? Well, I think if your wife wants $1 million for sucking a guy's dick, that's her money. It's got nothing to do with you. Oh, I let my wife do this.
No,
I
no, no,
did.
no. She did it for the $1 million. All you did was let her go. Let her facilitate her own path.
Yep. Wow. The madness ensues.
The crazy world in which we live. What's the price you're willing to pay to get what you want?
I don't know. A fair bit, like nearly my own sanity and survival, for sure. You know, push it to the edge.
But would it be better to go, to your grave a pauper, but retain your dignity and your self-worth, rather than to bounce on the dragon's cock for $1 million?
I reckon you can do it without having to do that, maybe. Just maybe a light bouncing.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
Kind of grateful enough that it just sort of
let me do my evilest laugh.
just sort of like this. You just do a bit of it, like just a bit of back and forth on the tip, and it just like
This
loses
certain thing
itself.
comes to my mind right now. After 4 ciders,
That's
it's
it.
no more luck until the dragon's dick gets sucked.
No more luck.
Oh.
No, I worshipped at the temple of the dragon on the night in question. So my duties towards the dragoness
Mm.
have been fulfilled.
Taken care of.
Thankfully.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was grateful to make the point of that.
Mm.
It was useful. Yeah. Knowing different creatures, like so that you can, make peace with them as necessary. Like there's a
Mm.
sort of the actual story of the lunar zodiac is like it's one of betrayal and like just a bit of hurt, and it's like not the happiest. Because it's lunar, but they actually have like a sort of the cat is actually one of the symbols. It's not described. It's not sort of listed as one of them. But the cat was lied to, so it didn't even show up. It like turned up on the wrong day.
Mm.
It's the whole, and so they're all like, "Oh, you're so disrespectful. You didn't even come to the dinner.
Hey diddle diddle. Cat
Where
in the
were you,
middle.
cat? I was fucking told a different story. I was lied to." Yeah, little conspiracy.
Hence the reason the
Cat's
golden
pissed off,
apple
man.
was rolled into the party.
That's it. Fucking
You
the
know,
claw.
didn't get
Just
invited. Have to
take that
roll
apple.
the golden apple in there and just go, to the prettiest.
Okay. Ooh,
Get them girls fighting.
don't want that apple. Get you some
Golden
apple.
apple.
Gonna get me some apple.
Golden apple on the silver branch. Well, that's 3 hours 18, Si. How you going? Continue, or you've run out of ideas?
I don't know.
Hmm?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. What's the time? Let's have a look.
Check it.
Oh, it's midnight. No, yeah, midnight's good.
Call it?
I should call it.
All right. Let's call it.
There was some
Drama.
funny ideas tonight.
Oh,
That was
man.
nice.
We went all over the place, which was
I
excellent.
loved it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good fun. That was some crazy shit.
I'm sure someone will appreciate it in the future.
Oh, they will.
All right, I'm going to do the beginning at the end because we did the end at the beginning.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense. No, I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
Wrong one. So I've got a rescaled one.
Rescaling.
Yes, because when I punch it through DaVinci, it comes out as 4K. So
yeah.
Just the ending, which also the beginning. Cyclic in nature, just like
Cyclic cosmology.
with every great ending becomes another fantastic beginning.
Fabulous, darling. Fabulous. So sparkly, they'll be.
That's it.
That's a
New part of the data matrix that'll be here when it rebuilds again. Will you be one of the ones that had their final stay and decided to move on. Perhaps from whence I came, or
I'd like a more
perhaps to
dynamic
where
level of control.
you would like to go. Plenty of
Yeah,
heavens
I'd
out
like a
there.
more-
I don't know. Just look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
How many different types of heaven there is,
Ah,
or hell,
dynamic
depending
level of
on what you
control.
want.
Yeah, I just want to be able to make things as I desire them. I think the limitation of having to have like
The level,
such a sort
go
of
to the level of Godhead.
yeah, but not just me.